Go.
La la.
La la
La
la.
la la.
Motherfuckers, I meant to play the intro. Y'all were meant to be quiet during this shit.
La la. What?
My fault.
We're playing the intro.
I spent my life suffocating, ignoring villains, leaving inside me all my guilt is never fading. It forever lives on under my skin, killing me from within. You stay a part of me for the rest of my life. You tighten your grip like shackles on.
Alright, chat, what is up? I swear y'all did not hear the audio possibly get doubled because I had the stream open up in a second tab. Anyway, we are here to voice act Leviathan, which, in case you don't know, it's a book that Project Moon made that was meant to be read before Limbus Company, which pretty sure most people have not read it, but that's why we are here to voice act it for y'all, so you guys do not have to read it. And with me, I have Frey. Introduce yourself.
Hello! I am probably the only person here who has read Leviathan, and am very happy to inflict the suffering amongst everyone here.
Nice, nice. All right. What is Project Moon? My brother, you are lost. Apollo, introduce yourself.
What are you doing
Hi.
here?
What? Hello.
No, go ahead, Apollo, by all means.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know I was allowed to. All right. Hi, I'm Apollo. I'm Apollo VA. Funny voice actor. La la I was the one who made Esco do that last night. I was like, hey, you should do the Esco, you should do La La Dog. And he did, because I'm awesome. And I'm really cool. And I'm voicing Carmen because I'm cool.
True.
How does someone already know who I am? Hello, this is the Prestia. Hi.
Do you want the answer to that question?
Let's move on.
We move.
Let's move
on Twitter.
We move.
All right. Yokami, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am the
Goodness.
second person to maybe have read through Leviathan here. I am a fellow VTuber and loved Project Moon for quite a while, so I'm very happy to actually read the final chapters of Leviathan with everyone.
Hell yeah.
Nice, nice. All right, Emmy, take it home.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I am Emmy. You might know me under the @Citron Cynique. I am primarily a fan artist, extremely amateur voice actress. Absolutely not. I'm just here for the ride. I'm delighted to be in the presence of these four absolutely fantabulous people, and I hope that we will tonight, or today, whichever time it is for you, I hope that we will provide delightful entertainment to all of you. Also, is my audio okay? Chat, is my audio okay?
Yeah, chat. If the audio is too loud or too quiet for anyone, please let me know.
Please let us know. Do your job, please.
I could,
Please.
check that out on the fly. But yeah. Also, I saw somebody asking what was the song for the intro. That was Stan Chen from Ark Knights.
Peace.
Yes.
Yo.
Bam. That is it for the intros of all these amazing voice actors, and then me, who has not voice acted anything. So we move. But to get an intro to Leviathan, for those who maybe have not checked out the prior chapters or have possibly forgotten because it's been more than a year since you read them, Frey and Yokami are tag teaming up for an introduction on what Leviathan is like in the earlier chapters.
Hey, yep.
Why not? Would you like to start off, right? Or me?
I can do it. How about I can give the broad strokes and you can fill in the gaps if I miss stuff?
As much as I can, sure.
Dope. All right, imagine, if you would, a story that takes place immediately or sometime after the events of Library of Ruina, following none other than the Red Gaze, who apparently failed to protect an orphanage when they all died, or at least were kidnapped and hurt to an extent by, in part, the Purple Tear and Tamari. Now, as whack as that sounds, that only caused the Red Gaze to fail to protect said orphanage, which means clearly he is not as powerful as any of the other colors, so I was right about that one.
Yep.
That being said, after such an incident, he vows to continue forward doing his best to keep those orphans protected until one of them becomes of age to be a fixer in his own office. By now, Virgilius has been able to not just run his own office, get his own team, but yes, maintain his color until he realizes that none other than the Ring have found their way into his nest. And in doing that, they have truly kidnapped those from his orphanage and are running certain experiments on them. Those that have played Kanto 6, you'll probably be recognizing some of these experiments. And those are testing out the mirror, or rather the glass window, which is to see how many different personalities or identities can be overlaid onto one person in an effort to try and save them. And by the request of one young man named Garnet, who was said previous orphan turned fixer, Virgilius and his team mounts an offensive into the Ring's base for just that, to save them. Along the way, his team ends up taking some really wild drugs, getting stuck inside the experiment, being betrayed. Yeah, there's actually drugs that the Ring takes that allow them to see visions, and they see that as a part of art.
They stare into a kaleidoscope and like wig the fuck out. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna turn to a fucking kaleidoscope. But hey, if you want to that way, that's fine. There you go. That's the spirit.
Oh yeah, the drugs were wild, bro. Why are you saying that like you took them? What the fuck? Speaking from experience.
Because we had visuals for them. Goodness, like those are just normal artist activities. Okay, it's like it's what we do. Mm-hmm. It's what we do. Just like normal art school activities.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right from what I've seen of you artists. Yeah, no, that sounds
It's wild. On those, it's wild in the fact that the last we see of a character is them taking the drugs, and then she's just gone from the series.
God, I love her.
Mm-hmm. Which, since this is still a Project Moonwork, they do mount an offensive. They manage to go past the art show that they're infiltrating. They manage to get into the corridor of the base, which later turns into Mephistopheles. Spoiler alert, I guess. And to meet none other than Goobo, who makes his first appearance in Project Moon trying to win an auction inside of the secret gallery. As things progress, we can see that Virgilius' team is picked off one by one, except he and Garnet continue to infiltrate the place. Garnet then finds the head maestro of the Ring, who is leading the operation with someone named Asaya, who has an interest in overlaying at least 10,000 identities onto a person. And in the process, Garnet, this young man, this very naive son who has everything to prove to the Red Gaze, gets overlaid himself, taking on the abilities of some very familiar names you might know, like Lulu, the Black Silence, I believe also someone from the Ring itself, and gets all of their powers laid onto him, fighting the head maestro of the Ring, Jumsoon, not the head of the Ring itself, just of this operation, and almost winning until he turns into something of a gem himself, which we'll address later. Meanwhile, Virgilius, and we're nearly at our current day, but Virgilius now continues to adventure through, one by one taking out members of the Ring, and we are about to meet him, where he is going to confront Goobo on the way to save who he wants to. And boy, there is still so much more of this story left. Yokami, is there anything you think is worth mentioning that has been missed?
Honestly, you nailed it. There was just there's jokes I was gonna put in, like the whole operation being like a dumbass payday mission, but I don't think we needed to put that in.
You're right though.
It sounded like you had a script, homie. Like, I know you don't. That was like the weird thing. I was like,
Yeah, that was
Jesus,
really good.
goddamn, okay. Fuck, we move.
Oh yeah, sometimes words just work.
Yeah, that I would hope.
Bowler.
Yeah.
Words are wonderful. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, the English language. But yeah.
I know
Yeah.
a few of those.
True.
I got a
true.
D in English.
News no one knew about before.
We're not going
Yeah.
down. Well,
Yeah, we ain't going down that road.
what are we doing?
We are reading Leviathan and possibly also judging Yokomi's poor grade in English later on. But as of right now, we are reading Leviathan. So, way we're going to be doing this off topic, but one is Emmy apologizing for disrespecting Peak. Canto 6? Actually, Emmy, when are you doing that? Well,
What?
actually, that's going to be a video.
Well,
possibly. Well,
that is gonna not really. We'll see how it goes, but like for now, perhaps we can move that to a stream where I will be fulfilling another one of the stretch goals that we have already reached, aka
Okay.
reading The Stranger for all of you guys. We will announce that when we announce that. You'll just keep your eyes buttered, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, like that
ladies
one
and
song?
gents of all genders.
Till the end?
Some of these may
the
happen in
end.
July.
Perhaps, mayhaps.
yeah.
Hmm.
But alright. Time to read up Leviathan. Way we're going to be doing this is, in Leviathan, there's not that many different characters within the later chapters, so some of the characters will probably be swapping them around, especially Virgilius, because it's entirely from his perspective, and if your boy had to read all that shit, my voice ain't going to be working for the next couple of days. So we'll probably be swapping them around a bit, but we could just see everyone's little spin on the characters.
Oh, that'll
Bam.
be fun.
Ooh,
Yeah.
question.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be funny if at some point we decide that every time someone donates, we switch whoever does the narrator Virgilius voice?
Mm,
Maybe
That
if they
could
have a
work.
request.
I like this.
yeah.
Hard to keep track of, but I like it.
Yeah,
Because like I have Tiltify open right now because you see chat, dear darling beloved chat. When we started talking about this, I initially wanted to voice a character that appears in the earlier chapters who is no longer there for reasons of decease.
The drugged one.
The one who decided to try some art school drugs. Anyway. I mean, valid. Anyway, so since she's dead, I'm gonna like grab at whatever little rollets I can, and meanwhile, I will also be reading everyone's little messages as you donate on Tiltify. Remember, after all, we are doing this for charity.
That reminds me, I gotta
And-
pin the link. I did not forget to
Very
do
good.
that.
Yes!
And we still have several stretch goals if you are feeling ambitious. Should we
already?
All right, let's
Should we
get
quickly-
into it. Oh yeah.
should we quickly go over who is who? I know you said you were Virgilius.
Yes, I will be playing Virgilius for an amount of the beginning, and then the person playing Gubo will be.
I'm goobing.
fantastic.
Okay,
Alright.
didn't expect that. I was thinking like a me or something, but all right, yeah, he's gonna be goobing. And yeah, and then we'll see from there of like which character pulls up. But all right, book 16, family. I was gonna practice my Virgilius voice. Then I forgot to do that shit. So I'll just get a little
Tsunul.
daunted. Yeah.
Sorry, real quick before we start, we already got 2 donations.
Oh.
Ah.
The first one was sent right before the stream started from Adamia. Big W for the APR, keep at it.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
And then just right now we got Akiza saying, glory to the Red Gaze and manager or something. So glad I caught a stream for the first time.
Hey. Nice.
Thank you for being
Oh,
here.
welcome.
Welcome.
This is a very good first stream.
I would also like to add one last thing, just for the viewer's
Ooh.
sake. We are picking up. So what we are doing, the text you see on screen right now is a fan-made translation of the last 5 chapters of Leviathan. There are a total of 20, so we're at like the 75% mark.
Yeah.
This may not be, if they ever get translated, the text here may be changed by Project Moon, since there's been no word on that. Fuck it, we ball. But yeah, this is the kind of energy. Expect us to be getting right into some climactic shit.
Yes, and the translator, their Twitter is linked in the description.
Fantastic.
But yeah.
Delightful.
Just say Dante a few times to try and sync with his voice. Honestly, that's the game plan, because that's the only voice line I really remember from him, but yeah, let's see. Book 16, Family. Finding a way out of the corridor, overflowing with countless doors, was quite the arduous task. Here it is. Walking out the door, which opened soundlessly, I faced a nondescript hallway again. I wondered if Garnet had successfully found the laboratory and joined with the others. It probably was easy since he was always brilliant at locating things, and also Rikako and Nansiu were carrying out the operation without any problems until just before entering the corridor. So if things went as expected, they should have secured the desired technologies by now, or even rescued the children, which Garnet had been hoping for so badly. However, for some time now, a mysterious shadow has been hovering over my back, an insight that cannot be accurately explained, or a sixth sense. It would be no exaggeration to say that this what the fuck is that word? Prognostication
Yes.
has been the leading. Yeah, maybe I failed English. All right, has been the leading actor that guides me through my life as a fixer. The shadow that hung over me since I saw Lapis's image seemed to have become even heavier. At the office, I determined that the shadow was probably Garnet's, even if I cannot determine with certainty what or whose light had created the shadow. I could at least guess. Although the majority disagreed, it was ultimately for this reason that I took Garnet on this mission. If one were to think rationally, leaving Garnet at the office would have been more apt, wouldn't it? When against the ring, even more so. Garnet's experience is too lacking for him to even fight a lesser opponent head-on. That said, he is unskilled in hiding his emotions and deceiving his opponents. In fact, the opponent may even seize the opportunity to win by taking advantage of his emotions. Nevertheless, I've never been comfortable ignoring this sensation that wraps itself around me from the nape of my neck. It was as if something was on my shoulder, pointing out that I should go this way. An abominable but irresistible pressure. I call it flow. As I continued to live as a fixer, the pressure became stronger and clearer. Perhaps my accumulated experience overflows instinctively at times like these. I let Garnet ride on this flow, and now he cruised on the bursting stream. At least until a while ago. Come out. But this unwanted shadow that presses on my shoulders now has become a different flow. It is an unpleasant presence with a bloody taste and smell. I quicken my pace. The identity of the shadow is not far away. I know where it's pointing towards.
As expected, there was no use in trying to hide from you.
Footsteps are heard in the hallway ahead. They aren't the footsteps of either Garnet, Rikako, or Nansiu. Their owner is much taller than them. The footsteps try to somehow hide their anxiety, but they are not the sounds made by the shoes worn by the ring. A third party of unknown affiliation. However, his voice and bloody smell were very familiar.
We've seen each other 3 times. We must be old acquaintances now. It seems we have quite a connection.
I believe he was Gubo from N-Corp? This was a person I saw at the gallery and at the auction house. Is he the new Flo? I need to investigate this sensation of mine more to see how it led me this way. Your coat is covered in blood, no?
You're correct. In order to come back here,
You killed them all. The auctioneer, the people in the hallway. Gubo raised his eyebrows lightly and smiled impishly.
I thought I'd lower your guard by pretending to be injured, but it seems that didn't work.
I had a feeling some people were accompanying you. His smiling mouth was slanted, thin and long.
Well, in a battle, there are always losses. I was just lucky he didn't suffer any.
He doesn't really look like it. His gloves are clean without a trace of battle, and his coat is stained with blood but does not appear to be torn or ripped in any way. He must be standing here in exchange for the lives of those who accompany him. They fought while he hid himself.
There was no other way to get in here. I didn't want to break any of the rules of the auction, but you put me in a tight spot.
He spoke in a very resentful tone. He seems to be referring to the last art piece, if you can call it that, for which we won the bidding and received Jonsum's invitation. Just before that, he had offered 10 billion on for it as if it was nothing. No one at the auction house was surprised to hear that amount, but perhaps he was planning to forge a connection with Jumsoon through that huge deal. Why are all N-Corp men built like absolute units? Brother, I wouldn't even call that an absolute... That's like an average dude. I mean,
Yeah,
he
Gubo's
looks
just
bigger
a
because he's
man.
wearing glasses.
Just
man?
a
Yes, obvious. A man?
A man?
Just a
A
man.
man.
Absolute man.
In addition, no one could conclude that there was a fairly pressing reason for him to make a breakthrough with Jump Soon, seeing as he has offered such a huge sum of money.
Oh, I don't want to blame you. Don't misunderstand.
The fact that he didn't raise an eyebrow despite raising a sum of money great enough to upset all those who would enjoy an upper-class lifestyle. With the fact that he could smile unconcernedly despite having killed all the 20-plus people in the auction house. The emotional turmoil of fighting against the ring, including some dissents, couldn't even been small at all. Even so, he's able to keep his composed expression and even joke about it, but a feeling of insecurity, obsession, and yearning can be seen reflected through it. He is a person willing to pay any price for the sake of his goal. He's constantly calculating ways to change it, even if it means deterring the consequent emotions and conduct. So this is how the flow goes, huh? I suppose you showed yourself because you want something.
Tell me what your original goal was. It would be wise to tell the truth.
His glasses momentarily glint in the light. His expression shows I finally got through to him.
You think I'd have a reason to lie?
The bloodstains harden on his glasses made it appear as if the blood-red color is dwelling in his eyes.
I've stolen a valuable asset. We just came to look for it, to ask for it back.
He seems nonchalant, as if he had just come to receive a tool he loaned, but I also sense a smoldering heat deep within. Happy Pride Month. It doesn't
Happy
seem
Pride
to be
Month.
material asset. The image of the laboratory from the videotape flashed through my mind. What is that asset?
I guess there's no good reason to dare hide from the red gaze. It's a researcher called a Seiya. It takes an extraordinary amount of gusto to steal a scientist who reports directly to a director, you know?
It didn't seem like he was lying. He must have known exactly what would happen when a lie is exposed before me, and he must have calculated that it would be to his advantage to tell the truth. I, too, calculated the value of my next question. Which director of NCorp? If he was a target of little value, killing him here and now wouldn't have been a problem, but an intriguing word came forth. The board of directors of NCorp. Various personalities come to mind, but I'm not sure they strut around too much. Director Herman, perhaps?
I'm surprised. It seems I shouldn't open my mouth so carelessly.
If the Ring are those who believe only in what they say, then NCorp is a company obsessed with being seen. Is it any wonder that even their pursuits overlap with those of the Ring? If Herman instructed this man to come in and retrieve the researcher, there is a high probability that he's involved with that lab. Garnett is gonna love this.
Are you going to... Oh, I don't know which one is actually reading
I
this.
legitimately, I do not know at times who the fuck is speaking. I'm just taking a guess.
Someone said, also, oh god, the Reeds are reading this chat. The Reeds?
The Reeds?
You mean the VAs? Yes,
readers
of
are
course
reading?
we are. We are
Oh,
kind of
they
the
are.
ones
Of course we are.
streaming.
The reads for
Yes.
short.
We are reading the chat.
The Reeds.
Sometime having mental damage
I mean,
applied to us.
we do that. You're right. The Reeds are reading this chat.
Imagine if
So-
Virgilius is called Freakilius. What?
Dude, that would be so wild. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride
Happy
Month.
Pride
For the
Month.
last
Happy Pride
3
Month.
fucking streams, my chat has been wilding. Y'all motherfuckers.
Dude, they were so horny for you last night. It was crazy.
Yeah,
was
I
so
know.
cool.
Yeah.
Like I went in there and the first thing I
What?
saw was like I saw like out of nowhere, Sinclair Naked stream when I'm like, whoa,
Huh?
okay.
Yeah, some of the comments on that
Oh
bot
my.
are also pain. So-
People like you.
I mean,
They
I'm
do.
glad, I suppose. Could maybe scale it back. A couple people can, but yeah. It's not our
Welcome to
fault.
the internet.
Whose fault would it be? What?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Head Gilius, dude.
Oh my god.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Whose fault would it be?
Yeah, you're not gonna try to Ahab me, motherfuckers, alright? I blame Sinclair? Okay. Anyway.
You're right, Emmy. It's your fault.
Anyway, Emmy is the fault. Anyway, moving on. Are you
Goodness.
trying to add a new feature to the suicide vending machine? Kubo's eyes narrow.
It's difficult for me to say more. It seems you know that anyway.
No matter how hard I try to conceal it, I couldn't hide a momentary feeling of mine, that being relief. The suicide vending machine, one of the leading symbols of N-Corp. I do not want that shit as a symbol. What the fuck?
Oh no, it's a huge thing.
Really?
Vending machine.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
that is
do we want to lore? Do we want to take a second for lore?
Lore drop,
Yes.
lore
Drop it.
drop,
Okay.
lore
It's
drop.
just sitting
So,
out right outside the end building.
Alright, so guys, canned experiences are a big part of N-Corp and came up in Limbus when we saw the N-Corp IDs. They are a part of what's used in the indoctrination of the N-Corp Inquisitors, and the suicide vending machine is considered to be quite a
popular feature.
it is a popular feature. It is a spectacle of technology to allow someone to experience what suicide is without actually going through it. So it's just one of their many canned experiences. That is one they just seem to appreciate more because it is a very human experience.
It is very cathartic.
I'm imagining to a sense experiencing that is meant to prevent people from suicide, right?
Yeah, like deter people from, shirking their job.
Inconclusive.
Okay,
I think
that's fair
it's
enough.
more it is a product like any other can of soda.
Okay,
It's
that's
it's there for entertainment value, so to speak.
Yes.
I have thoughts about N-Corp, but not on this stream.
a couple of y'all in chat saying, "Where can I try it?" Please,
Are you gonna
get
please
help.
get help?
There's a
please-
whole Black Mirror episode on this.
Please
Please,
call
yeah.
someone, guys. Please
Yes,
call
please.
someone.
I do like this chatter's message. The design is very human.
The design is very human.
Oh wait, is that wait? No, sorry, that's not a reference I got. I feel bad.
It's a bunch of TikToks. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Never mind. Okay.
Another time.
Yeah, another time.
Yes.
Has received countless commendations and amazements from other nests, but at the same time, it's an open fact that it is the main source of income and culture for N-Corp. It's impossible to estimate how many people move from their nest to N-Corps to use the suicide vending machines. It is still considered to be a unique structure only of N-Corp. I can pretend to know or not know what his ulterior motives are, but either way, this must be quite a difficult subject.
I have revealed all that I can reveal about this. We have different reasons, but our destination is the same. So why not accompany each other?
Happy Pride Month. Although the subject matter was a proposal, it was practically a plea. He knew very well that if I didn't accompany him, there would be nothing waiting for him but death. I stared him down, uncaring. I think this is me.
That would be
Yeah.
Yokami.
Yokami, alright.
Uh-huh. You are thinking about how to use me, aren't you? Huh?
He read my
Pride Month.
expression.
Happy Pride Month?
Happy Pride Month!
Huh?
It sounds like Project Moon's works were already a third into it and the gayest shit has already been said.
Let's go.
I just saw
Okay,
someone
people.
spam. I just saw someone spam the blushing emoji on the emoji tab. Happy Ride Month.
Happy Ride Month? Hey, yo! Hey! Happy Pride Month.
Happy Ride Month.
Oh
True.
my god. Where's the Pride Month? Oh, there we go. He read my
Truly is the story
expression.
of the red gays.
Oh
Sorry.
my god. He read my expression and promptly spoke up. This man is skilled in savvy thinking. He reads the situation and reacts swiftly based on the pieces he has on the table. Therefore, I decided to wait a little longer until he shows me the last move he has.
In that case, let me make another offer.
I nodded, allowing him to continue.
Isn't the purpose of your coming here, after all, also due to this glass technology being developed by the Ring? Because it seems that rumors are already circulating that a new singularity will be observed by the Ring.
I replied neither in the affirmative nor in the negative. I did so to make him believe he got it right.
That technology is called glass.
Oh,
I think that was meant to be. That technology
sorry.
is called glass. See, Gubo, mine's afraid up
Excuse-
right now.
my-
It's Pride
yeah,
Month.
I'm literally reading your mind.
Yeah, he's looking at Virgilius. Tensions are rising in the air. Not within like a combative way, mind you.
What if Limbus Company was called Freaky Company and Vergilius ate ass and sucked toes?
Oh my god.
Please.
Jesus
Actual
Christ.
Carmen moment.
Oh my
Actual
God.
fucking Carmen
we could
moment.
get a toe
right
ID.
No, we
A
can't.
toe
No,
idea!
No toes.
We have the fingers. Now we need the toes.
We need
True.
little figgy IDs.
I don't think we need the toes, actually.
Oh,
I mean,
so you're
I
gonna
don't
back down?
think we
Oh,
need
so
the
you're
toes.
gonna
Now
you're
we're
back
backing
down?
out.
No,
Really,
Now
Carmen?
we're
You
backing
backing
out.
down?
It's too
Really?
late to retreat. Nah.
Oh, you brought this up,
Fine.
Carmen.
You know what?
better
Yeah.
report.
You know
I
what?
am-
Yeah. No,
I am
yeah. it's fine.
gravely disappointed.
You started this war. You better be pinging Limbus Company on Twitter. Be like, hey, add the toes identity,
Okay.
please.
I'm like I'm replying to every single Olympus company tweets like, hey, you should add the freaky ID.
Why, hey, Apollo,
Where's
why don't you
freaky?
do that
Where's
now?
freaky
Why don't you do
Gregor
that
ID?
right now?
I'm not
No,
doing
no.
that.
All right.
It has. Okay, we need a toe ID, and we need to give it to Gregor.
Yes. Freaky ID.
Oh my
Freaky
god.
ID.
Yokobi, save us from this hell. Save us.
Got nothing, dog. We're all
Someone's
trapped here.
still
Motherfucker, save us from-
spamming the blushing emoji.
I know.
I mean, like-
I know. They were
We're-
Ricardo
dude,
toes.
no,
Oh, wait,
okay.
no.
Tsunul,
Oh, and
see,
yes.
now you can agree.
Oy.
We're adding
on
Maid
what?
Sinclair for the next update.
Oh, okay. I mean, okay.
Ah.
Maid Sinclair, I'm down with. I
Freak
know about
ID.
Toe Sinclair,
Greg
but like
Mincy.
Maid. Oh.
Yes.
All right,
Greg
cut.
Where were we?
Let's
Where
read.
were we?
Yokomi, it's your line.
Correct. If all goes well, maybe Asay and I can give you some of the materials that we that are produced by the apparatus.
Epileps. I think that's what they're called.
Ellipses.
Ellipses.
Ellipses. Anyway.
Virgilius just gets a seizure right on the spot.
Congratulate new canned experience.
You can't explain
Now we have this enough to close the settlement, please.
I think back to the minute of the videotape with the cooperation of Isaiah, who seemed to be overseeing the experiment. The necessary materials could be easily secured. That was... Why are you... Okay, I thought somebody was still spamming the blushing emoji. I was about to say, like, brother.
They are.
Let
Oh
it
my
go,
God.
let it go, let
No,
it
they
go.
are now. Okay, that was the initial goal of our office. In addition, we can even account for the safe removal of the children from the experimental equipment. That'll make ends meet. Alright, shall I accompany you?
Very good. I can assure you of the material's value.
Oh,
Just
hold on.
give...
Huh? Happy Pride
But,
Month?
no. I'm sorry. I thought we mixed them up. I was
Yeah,
wrong.
no, I'm
We
down
did
with
it.
you correcting us on that because
Yeah,
sometimes I'll
please
be
do.
lost. Sometimes I'll be lost.
You guys were right.
Yeah, there's like little things you could tell. Like if there's laughing, it's probably not Virgilius because that motherfucker don't laugh. He smiles. Sinister smiles, but yeah. Just give me everything. And wait, this would be. I'm lost now.
This would be you.
It should be you.
Okay, just give me everything, and then destroy all that is left. Make it seem as if nothing ever existed there in the first place. For the first time, his face grew dark. I wondered if he would make a face like the one, like that once the math stopped adding up.
Isn't that demand outrageous? What are we supposed to take back?
Oh, hold up. Wasn't your corpse goal only to secure Isaiah in the first place? The collateral seems to be what you desire.
For someone who speaks so confidently, you seem to be empty-handed, don't you?
For someone who's... Oh, wait, no. He was very quick and deft with his hands, aiming himself and closing the distance between us. A karambit. A weapon suitable for cutting, clawing... What?
I'm sorry. Nothing.
Cutting, clawing, and ripping. Furthermore, if you put your finger in the loop on the end of the handle and grip it, you can prevent yourself from mistakenly letting go of the weapon. However... that would only happen if you could reach the enemy. As expected, Gubo's combat experience was not extensive enough to feign proficiency. Garnett wouldn't have fought like this, thrusting his weapon forward, Happy Pride Month, before even being near his opponent. The arm, thrust out unskillfully, was no different from an ingredient prepared for easy cooking, and the joint, broken as naturally as flowing water, eventually dropped his weapon to the floor. His pupils narrowed as if he hadn't calculated the scenario, or perhaps he was gasping in pain. So too did his throat, as the space for breathing narrowed and became obstructed. It seems you may have been slightly mistaken in your calculations. I told Gubo as he looked back at me. his neck strangled by my right hand, dangling in midair. The value of your suggestion. Wait.
It would.
I don't think I read this.
Yokami.
Really? Okay.
I believe so.
The value of your suggestion is worth this much.
I squeezed his throat a little tighter until it blocked the grunts he was barely able to spit out. Only enough for me to not put any more force. After a moment, I relax my hand, and he falls to the floor, coughing violently.
Your reckoning is cruel to the point of being tight-fisted, isn't it?
It's a privilege of being a color.
Only joking.
Now then, you don't even know where the locations of the laboratory is, and I'm quite sure the price of my guidance will be substantial. Gubo, who was stroking his neck and straightening his wrinkled collar, stared at me.
What if Guvo is called Freaky Guvo instead of stroking his neck? He stroked.
Just sitting goofing.
I'm going to use this delightful moment to say that we got more donations.
Nice.
Yo.
Thank you.
Tree Dude, thank you. How much do I have to donate to stop Apollo from making the Skivvy Iron Lotus? This has been a great event, by the way.
It'll never end.
It will never-
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
It's going to make Skibbity Stanley parable if you get far enough.
Oh my
Jesus
god.
Christ. And the other donations that we've received was from Kaiser, who simply says, Gubo.
Gubo!
Gubo.
Google.
Lupo.
I do love Gubo.
Thank you, Freaky Gubo, for summoning donations.
I mean, I don't blame Gubo for being freaky. Like, once again, like, the scene where Vergilius chokes the living daylights out of Dawn in Kanto 3 has awakened many things in many people.
And somehow he saw that in the future.
And somehow, yes. He just knew about that shit. He played the beta of Limbus Company. Alright, that'd be after the straightening and wrinkling of stroking. So it would be Yokami's line.
You already knew?
Ayo.
Yeah, so just follow me quietly.
It would only be polite for those defeated in calculations to surrender. I'll do as you please.
Alright, let's move. Since we've passed like half, let's move Virgilius to somebody else. Who's feeling the veggie?
You wanted any?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Congratulations on Vergilius for his transition, by the way.
Oh my god.
Okay. Let me try and get a little bit raspy.
Yeah, just like punch yourself in the throat a couple times. That'll really just get you into character, you know?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Bad idea.
Gargle some rock salt.
So it starts at we start at only mine Gubo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only mine Gubo's footsteps echo in the corridor. There was no sign of anyone. Gubo tried to talk to me, perhaps not liking the atmosphere.
Incidentally, did you let your colleague go to the lab first? That being the kid whose eyes went like saucers when I stated my amount.
Yeah. He ought to be together with my office's family.
Family. That sounds good. It's also a word that doesn't fit you terribly well.
I was bothered by the fact that he was acting like a know-it-all, even though we had only just met, but I couldn't deny it. Family was not a word I typically used. Garnet or Yen, and occasionally Denver, would use it in passing. Rikako said that it was strange and showed some signs of displeasure, but soon got used to it. And Nansul would laugh quietly, as usual.
Sitting around the table and eating together every day. Isn't that what family's all about?
I recall Garnet murmuring to a disapproving Rikako as he puffed up. Things that I had casually passed by... Things that I had casually passed by at the time began to sting and cling to me like a prick in my throat. Sometimes I suddenly remember things when I'm alone amidst the silence. Maybe I haven't yet been able to expel my emotions.
Oh, I see we've arrived.
Door.
The door!
The
Dorgilius.
door.
Dorgilius!
Dorgilius.
Fun fact, this is the same door that Kathy opened for Heathcliff in Kanto 6.
True.
Absolutely not true.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
I mean,
I was like, what the
it's a corridor door. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
It's a door. There's a connection there if you want.
I love doors.
The door is a color. Thank you, Chatter.
Yeah. Virgilia is
it's a-
dubbed by David Hayter. Yeah, Emmy's David Hayter. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you give us like a good David Hayter Solid Snake line?
Oh, fuck.
Just say Colonel.
Colonel?
The
Colonel?
door being a color, the brown portal. Don't ever say that ever again.
Oh my god.
We've heard those words elsewhere before, no doubt. I was gonna say something. I think I was gonna say something. Never fucking mind. I didn't say anything. Let's continue. Unless somebody else has any comments to make.
I think we're
Let's
good.
go. We stopped in front of a door. Eyes, sculptures, and glass. I repeat in my mind the mental cipher Lan gave me. Then I pulled the handle, opening the door lightly. I see the hallway to the laboratory, and beyond it, I see people lying on the floor, having breathed their last. They were of the ring. I felt relief for some reason. There could be no more certain proof that Garnet had found and entered the lab safely.
I'm surprised to learn that kid had more basic skills than I expected. At first, I wondered why you would bring here a naive little boy.
Gubo pretended, as if he was in Marvel. I did not respond. There was no need to express my feelings. Indeed, I might have been in a hurry. And I also dimly realized that I get quite emotional when something involves Garnet. Maybe he realized it, but pretended not to know. I had no idea how loose I might have gotten, given that I didn't hide the proud look on my face. However, I heard no sound where there should have been one. I'm sure I should be able to hear Garnet, Nansul, and Rikako's voices here.
Can you hear the crying? It's like...
Why did my flow always point to the wrong place? Why did this shadow go towards the ruins instead of the peaceful valley beyond the mountains? But it was always in ruination where success was buried. I did not move along with the shadow sitting on my shoulder, knowing what it was towards ruin. Perhaps I thought it might have been different this time, that Garnet's shadow would never become this dark.
Who says this one?
That would be you.
Is that the family you mentioned?
Cries are bubbling up in the laboratory. Abysses were crawling across the floor that could only be found in the outskirts and the ruins. It would be better to give up mentioning them any further. And in the center of it all, there was a red jewel shining alone. Where have I seen this color before? The color that covers the sky when the sun sets over the mountains in the west. No. The color of a bruise on a shredded chest. No, it is the color of a fruit that ripened and ripened until it finally burst open. There lay Garnet. I knew without gazing at it, without peering into it, that Garnet in that gemstone of a color exceedingly similar to that of my name. I wonder if the unfathomable gravity pressing down on you was too much for you to handle. The faces of the children waiting for their presents at the orphanage suddenly came to mind. At some point, my flow stagnated. There was definitely a slow flow caught in my gaze. If I had let that flow carry me along, I am sure I could have turned the city itself upside down. But I deliberately ignored that flow. Instead, I tried to accompany the dim flow that hung to my shoulders and back, because that flow was my flow, and I would have been able to control it. And because that slow but brightly colored flow and I were so different in nature, because when I led that shadow towards the bright, it would be filled with light. That's what I thought. However, shadows are only black, and they can never shine white by any means. After all, shadows are created by blocking out light. Thus, this time too, I arrived at a ruin, a corner of hell, and for the first time, I realized that the shadow on my back was pointing in the direction of a sluggish flow. That if I went any further in direction of this flow, I would never be able to return. I should stop. This is not a job of saving the children for Garnet's sake. I can't choose a flow any longer. I can only see myself getting swept away in them. Because of this life I've grown so accustomed to, because I cannot ever break, I just can't. I can only watch the wailing reflected in front of me. Amidst the wailing, I can sometimes see it crumbling. My family's struggle.
Nice.
Translated by Snakeskin FS.
I do like this chatter who is giving people a death wish. New challenge: take a shot every time flow is said.
Oh,
let's go!
Some people gonna die.
Okay,
Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. Let me read.
I don't know if that relates to.
Garnet is dead. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Hoy says Emmy is eating this. Thank you very much. Giggles.
I do. The voice got like better as time went on because your voice just got naturally really raspier. You know. Like,
yeah.
Very well.
If you're ever gonna voice Virgilius, which everyone here will, just don't drink water. You'll just get right in character.
Don't drink anything. God, you have to really just feel the sad, miserable older man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just like
Yeah,
feel
everything
him
you
within
love.
you.
Yeah.
I do love a sad older man. Who's miserable.
Yeah. I forgot about you, Hindley fucker.
Hindley's the best thing that came out of Kanto 6. I rest my case. Anyway, who's next?
Okay, yeah. Okay, we move. Book 17.
I'd be down to do Verge this time.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
yes.
gonna do probably what, half Verg here, half of the other half Apollo Verg.
Sure.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Ooh, looking
And
forward
then-
to Apolloverg.
Unless a character you're voicing pulls up, Frey, then
Yeah, I was gonna
we'll
say.
figure that one
Yeah,
out.
that's-
Wait, actually, Jumsoon's in this one, isn't she?
I think he's only in the second half.
Second half, all right, we move. If
Wait,
not, we either swap or you have like a schizophrenic moment where you just speak to yourself. We'll see how this one plays out, really.
After.
I've experienced both. It's fine.
Yeah,
all right.
Hell yeah.
There was a cry rising from within. The beginning of every human being is also a cry, just as in the old tale that speaks of man's expulsion from paradise for committing the sin of coveting the forbidden fruit. Mankind once again weeps as we are burdened with life. For the sin of bearing sin is too great. I gaze at the red jewel, or perhaps it's a red egg, standing before me. I thought of calling his name, but I immediately gave up, because I found my Gladius lying on the floor. Garnet never handled anything recklessly, maybe due to his years in the orphanage, where the concept of ownership was vague. Perhaps because he realized early how to survive in the city. He even kept the wrapping paper from the gifts I gave him. That's why. I know the painful reason behind the gladius laying on the ground. I lift the gladius. The crawling whalers approach me. Among them, an unsightly, flower-like thing ran towards me before the others. Gubo had taken out his karambit even before that thing had reached me. Without thinking of the consequences, he thrust it right at me. I extended my hand to stop him.
Don't forget your original purpose.
Why? Gubo shrugs his shoulders after looking doubtful for a second, and heads for the corner where the one called Asea is. That thing comes near me in a panicked manner. I open the gaping hole that seemed to function as its mouth, appearing unable to resist tasting anything that could fit in there. It seems like it would continue roaming around the past, present, and future. I could hear the clicking sound of its teeth, which are clustered in a thin layer. Surrounding the teeth is a bundle of threads clumped together like dandelion flower seeds. They're not pure white, but a gray that has forgotten sunlight. Perhaps these flower seeds will never soar through the wind. They're too heavy to fly away like cotton wool. However, if I cut it open with the gladius, they would easily disperse, but what use would I have for a decapitated head? Heightened thermogeneration. Heat increased to the utmost limits. When the temperature had reached the point where smoke could be seen, I inserted the scorching iron blade into its mouth. As if waiting for it, countless fangs rushed toward my hand.
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Did you fucking drift into your microphone? God damn!
Why not?
It's like-
It was on point, the noise.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. God damn.
However, not even the very tip of a single tooth reached me. A single moaning sounded simultaneously to the searing of the heat, and a terrible burning smell spread. The red-hot gladius appeared to have sealed the mouth of this greedy one, yet the eyes of this thing still looked directly at me, and its mouth, which refused to close, constantly prodded at me. This thing doesn't know how to give up. It has no patience. It's filled only with the desire to chew and swallow. As I pull out my gladius, a bloody sensation fills my head. My vision is disturbed by the cries and memories of the past rush between the cracks. When one lusts,
Sorry, someone said looks like a carrot yum.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, what the fuck?
What are you talking about?
The sword.
Oh, the
You said
carrot.
the sword looks like a
Sword
carrot.
Oh, what
While
the
we're here,
hell?
we got a donation that said thanks for your hard work from GA. Let's keep this Pride resonance running mighty.
Hey,
Very
nice.
sweet.
very, very sweet of you. Thank you,
Looks like a
boy.
carrot yum.
Yeah, very
Carrots rushing into cauliflower.
Oh.
Salad.
Ooh.
Salad.
Salad.
When one
Salad.
lusts insatiably after riches, nothing will ever suffice. Denver was the first among us to realize that fact. After many nights of extreme hunger to the point of fainting, Denver had become a voracious whirlwind. Driven only by desire, she leaped forward, unconcerned if it caused all the road she traversed to crumble. Such feelings of self-pity had pushed her to the garbage dump, among with the chicken bone fragments that had one day been her meals. I'm not so different. No. Perhaps I was even more miserable. For the sake of the children in the orphanage, to protect the office, to endure on my own, I repeated numerous excuses as my reasons and turning points. But I, and her too, simply wanted to catch something to eat at whole to make us feel alive. We were all hungry. We were too busy forcefully trying to satisfy our desires, sinking our teeth into somebody's flesh, consuming it, without being able to digest it properly. I am no different than I was then. I peeled off a piece of flesh entangled in the gladius.
That's
Yeah,
you again.
This is jump soon now.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I suppose we'll do the swap now.
Sure.
Hell yeah, here goes this one.
We move.
Moving.
The red gaze. You don't seem to know, do you? So wait, is someone attacking in, or am I just double teaming?
Would
I'm
you
fine
like
with
me to?
either.
Apollo
Yeah,
should be Virg. right
Apollo,
now.
go for it.
Alright. I looked toward the voice I heard and see Jumsoon gasping, barely able to stand. Wounds could be seen all over his body. Was he pressured into a struggle during his fight with Garnet? Or did the crawling whalers stubbornly cling to him?
That thing's true identity. Shall I tell you what it is?
I silently approached Jumsoon. It was all too obvious that he was anticipating me. His eyes watched to see if I would fall to my knees in anguish in the face of despair. However, another whaler tried to close the gap. I twist the handle and make the blade burn hot red. It has several feet attached to it. Bare feet. They're completely swollen as if it had wandered from place to place. On its feet, an unusual piece of cloth. That's how you say it. I don't know why my brain just paused for a second there. Clings to them. It's a fabric with a jumble of blue and black patterns. I had seen that before. I had seen a child in the orphanage wearing it to hide a large scar on her ankle, caused by broken glass. It belonged to a certain child from the orphanage. With displeasure, I am reminded of that day. There was one day that children always waited for with bated breath. On that day, they were lavished with gifts and blessings, simply because they were children. On the day before it, the children were unable to sleep properly. I always wondered if the weight of that anticipation was tacked onto me. The weight of the massive packages I held with both hands never felt particularly bad. Garnet later told me that the reason the kids waited so impatiently was not to receive their presents, but to see me become particularly generous with my laughter on that one day. When I realized why their faces would become so bright as they looked into my eyes, to the point of forgetting to put on their shoes, I couldn't help but truly smile. Is this me?
Yes.
And still, I wonder if this was the place where those feet, determined to reach the end of the line, finally stopped. The feet ran into my body with all of their strength. I'm concerned if its flesh would be slashed here and there due to the impact, or if its trunk would become inflamed. Its sole perfect eyes stared at me. It doesn't resemble the look of that day. Except it does. But I don't want to say it does. I must not be tainted by this new flow. I avoid its gaze and slit its many ankles.
That's what I was
Excellent.
expecting earlier. There's only two angles, like anime uwu kya or that.
Yeah, yeah.
I love me anime waifu Virgilius.
Thank you. I'm doing my best.
Also, I will say, Treated, I see you said how Tsunul managing to do this with the music. Legitimately, the music is just in a playlist. It just so happens that every track that is played fits the scene fucking perfectly. I do not know why, but it's working out really fucking well.
Happy
Oh
It's the flow, Dante.
Oh, Dante.
We're not questioning this flow at all.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
I can't
Just
with the
go
yeah,
with
it's
it.
so funny.
Yeah.
All right. The blood loss, stopped by the cauterization, doesn't lead to its death. Instead, it slumps down and cowers, yet it never stops crawling. So it can reach me. Its cries echo throughout the room, and the lumps of flesh writhe senselessly. A warm, raw feeling travels down my fingertips. This time, too, the cries pushed me far, far into the past. On my first visit to the orphanage, I still was hesitant. And then one of the children suddenly came up to me and grabbed my hand.
Wow, mister, your hand's so rough.
The tiny palm. Okay. Why were you guys laughing? What? She sounded good. You guys are so mean.
It was good.
God forbid someone
It just
voice
came out
acts.
of nowhere.
Wow.
I've just heard Emmy use this voice in other instances. That's fine.
Oh god.
Yeah, I think I know them, yeah. The shift in music when we went to the flashback, yeah, no, that shit was nice.
The tiny palm touched the back of my hand without any hesitation. Although it was covered with blisters, the soft warmth that showered my hand was exceedingly warm. That was when I recognized how much I missed that warmth. I wanted to huddle together and dwell on that warmth all the time, even if I knew that was nothing more than deception and hypocrisy. Why? I didn't need to open my mouth to reply, for Jumsoon already seemed to know the answer. Jumsoon backed away as if he didn't anticipate it. Why?
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Is it?
No,
think
this one
that's
is
actually-
you. This one is you, Apollo.
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
It's the next dialogue line that's back to frame.
Okay. Why? You already knew the truth. Did you want to ask me how I could stay so calm? I was under no obligation to answer, so I kept my mind silent.
This is rather nice, isn't it? The red gaze. It's because of that unexpectedness that you're so fun!
Jumsoon continues to yell.
Asaya! Gather all rift generators around me! You must concentrate them all on me.
He shouted as Isaiah. His face contorted in a strange, eerie way.
Will you be? I can do a say. Unless someone else wants to.
I think that's probably a Tsunul Yorokumi.
I don't remember
Lord
really
yours?
how he sounds.
Fuck.
He always
Sounds kind of cunty.
Oh, okay.
he always gave me a more smooth attitude, very
He
confident
does.
and holding his cards to his chest.
Maybe something like, will you be able to stand it? Maybe? I don't know.
I got like a tiny like Hank Hill from that
Yeah, brother.
for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm
I
sorry.
can see it. That's fine.
Fruity? Okay, I've heard fruity, cunty, and smooth. Like, what the fuck am I voicing?
No, that's fair. Those are all
Happy Pride
true.
Month. Oh, by the way, happy Father's Day, everyone.
True. Yeah. Happy
Happy
Father's
Daddy Day.
Happy
Okay,
Father's
bro.
If I can't bear it, would that even matter? Increase the refraction index to the same level as before. No! Turn it to the maximum.
Jumsoon yelled loudly, perhaps in a hurry. Or maybe it was a cry of ecstasy.
In that case, the rifts in the glass windows would reach an absurd reading.
If that kid was accepted, why couldn't I? And aren't you hoping for that deep inside? To see what will happen to me?
It would be hard to deny.
Next to Isaiah, Gubo was also looking at Jumsoon with an intrigued face. It wasn't the kind of expression one would expect when faced with an enemy. They all looked the same. I took a step forward, feeling a strange discomfort. At that moment, I felt something shimmering and looked around the area to see all the reflectors attached to the top of the experimental tubes facing toward Jumsoon. I couldn't see it, but I felt like something was shining intensely down on me. Damn. Cunty-ass voice acting, I love it.
10 out of 10.
In that strange light, Jumsoon looked like he was ushering in pure joy and happiness. This expression did not change even as a thick, taut shell, emerging from who knows where, enveloped him. As I was bewildered, carelessly unable to move, another crying voice initiated its approach. The water in its transparent torso was making a sloshing slosh,
Slosh man?
like,
Blush.
I can't get over that clip where Frey just screams when they
Our
see
blessed ears.
that Esku got
Holy.
slosh mail.
I-
Sorry.
yeah. It was a fun time.
It was
a
very
fun
fun.
time.
It seemed that the only course it could take was to sink into the mire, having given up on flowing. However, it seems to have difficulty controlling its sinking, spitting out the water in its lungs. The water comes rushing onto the floor as if sighing. I burned its mouth shut. Now it can't spit out anything anymore. A damp sensation coils around my body. Memories of bygone days, similar to before, come flooding in, undulating like waves. I spent a lot of time alone. Being a fixer is akin to building a wall brick by brick, all the while trying to rise above it all on your own. In the end, when the day comes when you'll have no option but to become a pawn in somebody else's schemes, there'll be no one willing to take your back. That's why you have to build the wall by yourself. For that reason, I often had to close my eyes. Oh, I messed it up. My mouth, eyes, and ears. I saw no need to cast a personal gaze on a world where ill fates are overlooked. I didn't want to put my heart into something that could crumble at any moment. And so I sank. Perhaps the only thing that stopped me from drowning was Lapis' sudden visit to the orphanage. When my mind regained its senses, Jumsoon's egg-like form began to wriggle and change into something else. Hello?
Keep going, keep going.
Oh, go ahead.
The, where is it? Yeah. The indigo, indigo? Indigo. I messed that up. The indigo eggshell twisted and swelled here and there, gradually taking on a human shape. The shell grew hard, shiny white scales covered by numerous dots of the same color as the eggshell. Then, a slimy, thick tail sprouted out of his lower back, completing the guy's belch. Yeah!
Perfect.
A speckled foot crushed the thing in front of me. Pouring out of it, together with the water, was a hairband outfitted with a cherry fruit ornament. Suddenly, I feel something colder on my face and neck. Water droplets come forth, falling to the floor. They weren't intense, like the ones that dangled around Garnet's eyes. There was no sobbing, only a constant stream of light rain. The husk that had encased Jumsoon is hanging onto the machinery. An indigo blue shell. Jumpsuit has broken out from within, and now began to step forward step by step. The body was speckled with countless dots, and the eyes glazed over, and the tongue that flicked around arrogantly. Even his internal organs were covered with them. I don't think I've ever seen anything so strange. What happened?
The universe conceived me once more.
A simple question clashes with an incomprehensible answer. Jumsoon walks. Beneath his steps, a black puddle forms in the shape of a dot. It wasn't like the spreading of ink nor the adhesion of paint, but as if the dot was engraved onto the floor. Yeah. As soon as one of the crying voices grazed one of the dots, it instantaneously burst open. Does the body explode when it touches those dots? It was only for a moment, but I believe I saw its body become covered by dots akin to someone with nettle rash. Either way, you'd probably be unable to finish a single word of warning if you touched them.
Furthermore, I proclaim that only I can expand the universe in pursuit of beauty.
Jumsoon's arm drew near me in the blink of an eye. Still, I reflexively thrust out the gladius in an attempt to lop it off. Surely, for Jumsoon, the struggle against me was his very first. However, he was already used to it. He seemed to have become acquainted? Okay.
That's a word.
Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Damn.
Brain go.
We start the whole
Acquainted
stream.
with my method. Damn. All right. Damn. Seems I gotta start out the whole thing. My fault. With my method of attack quickly. Even if he understood it beforehand, he moved as if he saw my attacks firsthand. It has been a few minutes filled with several skirmishes. I realized that the sensation was not just a coincidence. I chose to switch from slashing to piercing during our engagement. As I focused on aiming at his vital points, I supplemented my attacks with the use of Shin. However, Jumsoon once again grasped the essence of my piercing attacks and immediately countered them.
34 times. That was the number of times I died when you pierced me here, in the artery.
Jumsoon said so as he pointed at his chest. There laid a big dot in its center. That was one of the areas I was focusing on. It's the most essential vital point, which leads to death in seconds once hit.
46 times. That was the number of times I died when you pierced me here.
Jumsoon pointed to his neck.
And as soon as I tried to maintain distance between us, you would throw your sword with the ring of light right here.
Jumsoon pointed to a spot near his thigh. He listed every vital point in the order I prefer to aim at them. If my attack against the heart is blocked, I will go for the external carotid artery that passes through the throat. And if that is impossible, then I follow with a slash at the large posterior tibial artery in the thigh. If all these attacks are prevented, and I have no choice but to continue close quarters combat, I wait for an opportunity to hit the wrist's radial artery. Of course, I'm sure this is the first time I fought against this person. Yet, his actions and words...
Do you see? All of these moments are displayed throughout my body. The hues of several worlds have filled me with experience.
Ayo?
Heyo.
Be pride.
Hey,
Happy Pride Month?
Happy Pride
Pride Month.
Jumsoon spoke in a composed voice as he swung his leg. I don't know who's in here.
That would be you.
There. The unexpected trajectory allowed for his leg to lightly scratch my left arm. Then the dots on Jumsoon's body spread throughout my body. I had expected an explosion, but...
This is a new voice for Lapis, who
should
will come
I?
back later.
Should I? Or does someone else want her?
I think you're the only available person who could probably
Let's
do a
go.
convincing Lapis voice right now.
Okay. Okay, because okay, hold on, because Lapis is not Charon. Let me just.
Oh.
Let's go. It's
Yeah.
not that. It's like. We'll see, because it's not the same tone.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
Let's go.
We'll see.
Let's go.
Mm.
You there?
In my field of vision, Lapis was here. My back was bleeding before I knew it. There was a thin knife stuck in it that Lapis must have stabbed me with just now. That kid always appeared unnoticed when I would deliver the presents with a merry smile and candy in her mouth. At those times, she would always write something ridiculous on a piece of paper and stick it on my back. Now that had become a sharp weapon.
Why did you do that?
Lapis' question pierced through me, deeper than that blade. The question was vague, but I understood its intent. I was the one who killed those children's parents and sent them to the orphanage. I sensed Lapis' surprise attack. There was no way I couldn't. I could have avoided it or fought against her, but I chose to ignore the tingling pain of the thin blade that had stabbed me. But I couldn't ignore that.
You gave everyone presents. Sent money every month. Did you get any consolation from that?
No. No consolation was to be found. Maybe I was wishing for this day. Instead of staring at the gift in my hands, looking at your expectant eyes for the moment, and realizing you had put a piece of paper at my back, I wanted you to stab me, in that very same spot, with all the force you could muster. As I pointed at the corpses of your parents, with the same blade that took their lives, I wondered if the only way to heal that wound would be not by whistling and rolling candy around your mouth, as you've always done, but with the edge of a pale, thin blade.
Mister,
Before I knew it, I was in my office. It had become a hellscape, as if attempting to show that a fierce battle had taken place here. Not a single desk or drawer was where they were meant to be. Lan Yen was lying in a strange position. His entire body was covered with dozens of wounds, as if he had been slashed to pieces. Garnet lay beside him as well. This was the consequence of my judgment. We should have stayed together no matter what. I could hear Garnet saying,
I want to be a part of your strategy. Mr. Yen protected me.
I examined the depth of the wounds Garnet had sustained. They were proficient in professional skill. It was a chopping wound appropriate for leaving someone near death. Their intention wasn't instant death, but probably a message to me. Considering their ability, this is a warning. I watched as Garnet shortly breathed his last. It reminded me of someone who was begging for their life. I was unable to do anything back then. The present me can, but I no longer know what to do. Everything had become a lump of guilt. Nevertheless, those weren't the only sins I bore. Every step I took, every gesture I made, and every look I gave brought misfortune to someone else. But I'm not so superficial that I could die from this forged guilt. Oh, that was you.
I think that's on the impact. So,
Oh! Oh! I threw a strong punch at his cheek, causing the dark-colored dot in my hand to spread widely before suddenly stopping. I see. Garnet did come here with me. Sure enough, that was only a false image created by the dots. But it was so vivid as if I'd actually experienced it.
what about this? Drowning in a universe linked by dots. You finally want to die, don't you?
He went through various worlds like this to fight me. Large and small dots tinged with a dark indigo color. When I looked into these, they seemed to be those faraway worlds themselves. Those dots covering Jumsoon must have served this purpose as well. You.
That's it. All those varied dots coming together as ecstasy.
He wanted to say something more, but no more words came out. The vision projected in front of his eyes, those worlds. One after another, they changed. Towards a world of infinite possibilities, someday, somewhere. Uniformly, they all stabbed me with something sharp. The time then seemed to be an eternity. In a moment past, my vision was eventually embraced by complete darkness. And then...
Okay, we need to change Virgilius right now.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I'll pull up.
Oh, I see.
From somewhere a voice began to speak to me as if in a trance.
You didn't even let me do it!
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Carmen
true.
line.
Yes.
The Carmen line.
Oh, that's Carmen? Oh.
You, come on! Ver.
From somewhere, a voice began to speak to me as if in a trance. An awfully warm voice. A voice that made me want to become completely buried in it for all time. It spoke to me.
It's nice to talk to you again.
Translated by Snakeskin
Yay.
FS.
Yeah, let's go!
I did not know that was
Yippee.
Carmen. I thought that shit was like a fucking sound effect. I was like, okay, weird that we're changing, but sure.
That's her!
Legitimate white woman jump scare. I did not expect that.
God damn it.
Who just said Frey oiled up? Why?
What?
Wait,
what are you talking about? Oh my
What
god.
prompted that?
It's like the chat's going so quick, no one will see. I want Frey oiled up.
God.
Wait, what?
What the hell?
Chat,
Alright,
some of
stretch-
y'all need to
stretch goal,
come to
whatever.
Jesus moment.
What if Frey was called Cray and he was oiled up?
Hi, sillies.
Oh
That's my impression of Star Wars evil Anakin's Carmen message.
Cute.
Actually, okay, Opalu, I would like. What the fuck does 3 days?
Yeah,
Whatever.
what the fuck?
What does that mean?
That's
3 days, Frey.
I need
you're
some
gonna
go
oiled
to
up.
the
We're
band.
killing you.
All right, cool, fantastic. Opalu, can I make a quick proposal to you?
Sure.
Could we? And I'm only asking this after what happened with last night's stream. Halfway through, swap off on Carmen,
Wait,
or
why?
do you want to take the whole thing?
Why?
Oh, just because it just came up doing Carmen voice last night, and I don't know, that'd be cool.
No.
If you want to
The
keep it, though,
reason-
that is your right.
As to why he's referring to the last stream is because last stream there was a point where people were like, hey, Frey, give us Carmen ASMR for one of the stretch goals. So
Oh.
that is what prompted the idea.
Yes.
If
Up
you
to
want to.
Okay, sure. That sounds great. This is probably going to be the one, the chapter that people will understand the most because you've probably seen something like this in Olympus. So let's make it happen.
Ooh, okay.
So you want me to continue on with this one?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
if you guys are sharing Carmen, should Virgilius also be shared?
It wasn't Virgilius already shared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
we
But
all
like,
need to turn on the Verg bus.
But for for this chapter, who wants to share them?
I think I'll do first half, and then somebody could pull up second half.
I'll do the second half.
That sounds
Yes.
good.
All
Go ahead.
Mhm.
All right. Although I will be right back for like a minute. I'll be right back. So
Okie
feel
dokie.
free to just completely interrogate chat and make them come to Jesus.
Oh, if you guys want to come to Jesus, like, you guys should look up this fictional character known as Sonia.
All right. Good luck with that shit. I'm leaving.
Fuck?
Good luck, chat. Good luck. Y'all deserve that for how y'all been being.
Sinar Farat, what the fuck does this mean? Gay streams?
Yeah, it is Pride Month, you know, Frey. You know what that means? We missed the first half of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wait, where was the previous Leviathan? We didn't do one. However, if we do manage, okay. By the way, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. But like, if we do manage to wrap this up relatively quickly, we can go back to previous chapters, like the webcomic chapters and whatnot, and voice act those. I think that's what we agreed on. If I'm wrong,
Yeah, we're gonna
tell
wrap
me.
all around.
If we're feeling it. Yeah, it's like an En Medias Res sort of deal.
Ooh, yeah, like, you know those Chinese dramas that start you at the middle of the story, and then they take you for a flashback that's like 50 episodes, only to
like
give you
One Piece.
Fucking god! I mean, like, One Piece is not a Chinese drama, but I'm talking about the Untamed. I'm talking about chat. Have you guys ever watched the Untamed? Read the Untamed? Consumed the Untamed? Like, if you like gay Chinese men that look like Hong Lu, like that's for you.
Two people could voice Tamari at the same time. That's actually a
Oh,
really
that's
good
genius.
idea.
Oh, that
I
would
love
be
that.
fun.
Ooh. Oh god.
I don't remember Tamari having like a line at all.
I think Tamari has maybe one utterance or two, and that is it.
Unholy noises. Do you guys think we're gonna see Tamari in the warp train event?
Hopefully not.
Ooh.
That would be. I would be delighted personally. Then
Someone
again,
on,
you know me. I do like these. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Apollo.
someone on Twitter just followed me. Their name is Gregor, and they have their description as LCP Gregor here. Just need glasses, and I'm the true Gregor. I'll warn you, this place is hell, just as the city.
You know
And
what?
they just have Gregor all over. I mean, they went to the right place. I do like Gregor quite a little
I mean,
bit.
who doesn't?
Mhm. They
We
surely
true,
had a
true.
foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
If Gregor goes any lower than S tier, Frey, on that tier list,
What the fuck
I'm
are you going to do about it?
Wait, which tier list? Who's doing a
Frey
tier
ranks
list?
everything.
violence.
That's cool.
Oh, that. I mean, like.
Violence.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Ayo, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
And happy Father's Day again.
And
to,
happy Father's Day, yeah.
Happy
I
Father's
still
Day.
find it very
So,
funny that
someone having
we're.
the best time. Virgilius having just a fun time with his orphans that are definitely not currently dying within the story.
Yeah, and also his orphans who probably wouldn't be orphans if he didn't, kill their parents.
Yeah, that too.
True!
That too. Yeah.
It's homemade orphans.
Yes.
If you don't have orphans, store-bought is fine. You know?
I don't like that. I don't like the implications there.
We can move on from that.
So true.
So yeah, everyone's here, right?
Yes.
All right, nice. All right. So yeah, me, Virgilius first half, Yokami second half, Apollo Carmen first half, and then
Before we
Carmen
continue-
Frey second half. Yeah.
Before we continue, let me have a peep at Tiltify, because I think
All
that
right.
we got some donations in the meantime.
Happy
Uh,
Father's Day, Tsunul. Why are you saying that like I don't have children, homie?
They're pregnant and it's yours.
Okay.
You're pregnant and it's yours.
Oh, thank you.
Ow!
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we had a donation. It was like 30 minutes ago.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for the hard work. Oh no, did we already read that?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I believe
never
so,
mind.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Yeah.
Righty.
Okay. Yeah.
Someone said I'll make Virgilius a father again. Hello?
Oh my
I mean,
god.
like,
Holy moly.
Oh my
I mean,
Chat,
again,
please.
A noble goal.
put Vergilius and some of his fans in a room.
Happy pregnancy month, Tsunul.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Happy
Yeah,
pregnancy
yeah.
month.
Mods, that
So
one right
happy.
there.
Wait, are we executing Esco?
Hey, Mods, crush his skull. Thank you. Happy
I mean,
Thanksgiving
nobody's
month.
safe.
I mean, fair enough. It's not even Thanksgiving month.
I'm giving thanks.
It's Thanksgiving
To the
month
Lord above.
somewhere in the world.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to gay people. Okay, book 18, questions and answers. Silence. I haven't felt such utter stillness in quite a long time. In its midst, the voice of the one who proclaims itself master of this space is clearly heard. It shimmers as if smothered in light. Who are you? Only after I forced those words out did I realize that it was a pointless question. There's no one left in this city who calls me Ver anymore. I suddenly remembered that when I last heard such a moniker, my eyes were not as they are now. I wonder, then, if the world as my eyes captured it back then was greener than it is now.
Who I am isn't very important, Ver. Let's just have a little talk.
All that spreads before my eyes is a warm and comforting light. It's as if all the light and color that was boundlessly scattered throughout the city came to life, evoking the imprudent illusion that all fault is being washed away just by being here. Then, a visage invariably came to mind, one of salvation, yet which I vividly felt shouldn't be embraced carelessly.
As such, we are each other's guests. Just as I have something I want to ask you, you have something you want to ask me.
While I was on the city's surface, I held numerous unanswered questions. Questions no one could answer or simply wouldn't acknowledge. Therefore, I decided to reply to this voice. Your heart looks to be aching. The children... Wait, no.
That's Opalu.
Why did he say he's gonna reply and then just say fucking nothing? Unless the reply was a prior one. If so, we ignore that.
Your heart looks to be...
Sorry, my mom was closing my door. she just handed me a note and then left. Okay, bye.
Fair enough.
Your heart looks to be aching. The children you can save are swirling around in your head, aren't they?
Replying was unnecessary, it seems.
They were quite the innocent children.
There is no sentimentality in that sentence, neither pity nor regret. Perhaps this being knows what happened to transform those children.
The children that underwent the experiment.
It's too late. The way back is gone. That clear ignorance of the world made the children rather burdensome.
I think those two were opposite.
Oh,
But whatever.
This shit is confusing as fuck, brother.
yeah,
It is.
I'm feeling a little confusing.
Yeah. Dude, that would be Carmen, definitely.
Okay, should I do that one instead?
Oh no, I'm thinking the line would be... Unless... Actually, no, we're on the Virgilius thing, that's right.
You're on Mary Voice.
Yeah. The merry voice mercilessly strikes down my question. To tell the truth, I had a vague estimate of that fact. That's not to say that I didn't hope to be wrong.
I think I heard your heart break.
My heart made no such sound. However, only after the voice said so did I notice that I was quietly cracking apart.
But to have become like this, the children didn't deserve this.
Then the warm yet unfeeling voice clasped me as if in a hug.
But you know, Ver, everything that happens so far isn't your fault.
Fleeting syllables rang out akin to the singing of a song, sounding like a consolation whose sole intent was to absolve me of sin. If I were to listen a little longer, I felt I would surrender myself to this pleasant voice despite my will. No, that isn't something someone can freely measure. As its words revealed themselves one by one, they were always tightly intertwined. By the time I came to my senses, I wasn't grasping a great lump of guilt in my hands. Nothing discernible. Nothing discernible within. So I held a part of the city in me as well.
Ver, consider this. The orphanage's children have turned into something that is no longer themselves. And even the young fixer who wished to help you has entered into a cocoon. The situation may look grave, but compared to everything you've done, it's really just a minor incident. And yet, why does it hurt you more than anything?
The voice saw through my facade. It viewed the life I was living, never properly opening it up to anyone. It observed all the roads I followed, even from the times when my pupils held no blood. I began to recall all those paths. The people wailing, begging for salvation, some buried before even being able to scream. The collapsing buildings and all the lives whose blood was shed. However, as a matter of fact, there existed a warm expanse of light, the complete opposite of everything that came before. It surely was a light I created for myself, where they waited for me, where voices of delight and excitement were held instead of wailing and yelling.
I see. The orphanage was your hope.
The voice found its answer.
You have always considered the city to be wounded, but the stains on your hands won't be washed away, and you'll continue to be the one to keep the blood flowing throughout the city from drying out.
Yes, the foul-smelling wounds of the city run deep, for they have been festering for a long while. I don't know who's... I believe that'd be Carmen, I think?
Yes.
I know how to cure the city, but the road to achieving that goal was so cruel that we would have to spill more blood than was already spilled. You, awkward and kind as you are, have buried that road deep within your heart.
But there exists a method to make this road much gentler.
So you found it.
Without having to dirty my hands yet.
Children who may be able to change the city in your place.
The orphanage was my very own limbo, my place of redemption. Despite never having informed them of my sins by stirring up a virtuous attitude within me to the same heights, my frozen heart melted like snow.
Sprinkling water and fertilizer in your spare time, making sure the sunlight properly comes in and there are no insects to bite them.
The voice spoke as if it were doing so itself.
You looked after them. You, who had lived your life following only strong flows, had your eyes only on the potential of what was a feeble flow at best.
Yes, as you say, I wanted to plant seeds that, even if feeble, had potential. They were hidden in a remote corner where nary a ray of sunshine reached. However, just because something is unseen does not mean it's incomplete. Thus, I looked after them, like a growing tree. I wanted them to live on my behalf. If I could get them to live with the heart I couldn't have, I was sure that even the faintest flow would grow into the sturdiest. However, did I really think the orphanage could change the city?
No. For you knew it couldn't. The children were just pieces of paper to wipe off the blood from your hands. Indulgences you yourself printed. But now, they have all been ripped apart.
Its tone changed to what I believe was meant to be sympathetic, but it simultaneously became foreboding as well.
Because of that, your countless sins flooded in. And so, your heart was bound to crack. However, thanks to that, we were able to meet and talk like this.
Since when did I begin to experience that feeling called guilt? Since when did I lose the peace where I could let my head down? No longer do I have the strength to move. Only now do I realize that this life of playing house may have been my final struggle to protect my soul, to stop the guilt from consuming me. Because I know that the place I'm bound for will be too much for me.
But, let me tell you something, Ver. This is the place where you can speak your mind freely. So, can you let me hear it all?
My heart was cracked, and from that little crack, the voice saw everything. Even the blade that was hidden inside me for so long yet never stopped sharpening. That blade, buried deep in my heart, was revealed for the first time through the crack, both to me and the voice. We both knew what it was.
What you really wanted. It wasn't just playing house at the orphanage. All you want is... You did everything for...
The man.
Oh,
Did you meant to put out the beep and then you put the man soundboard instead?
I
No,
did the beep
someone-
afterwards.
Yeah, someone else.
okay.
Someone else did the beep. I was just ready in that.
Okay.
I mean, like, don't you want to censor everything with
The man.
the
I
man?
did that instead.
Yeah, that's what I was
right.
thinking.
Oh my
Mhm.
The man.
God. Okay. The man. Indeed, I.
The man.
That's terrible.
Over again. The shell of the city is quite sturdy. No matter how much blood is shed to push through it, it won't be enough to reach the city's wounds. Hidden in the most secluded of places, I, who tried to pierce into the wounded core of the city, should know this fact best.
Such was your ambition. But as you continued to atone for nothing in your visits to the orphanage, it was gradually buried, to the point that not even a trace of it remains.
No. Even if it became buried, it never lost its luster. That poignant wish could still cut down all
The man.
of
The man.
at a moment's notice. However, whenever such thoughts surface, I'd merely suppress them back to the recesses of my mind.
But burying it is just as painful. That wish is too sharp. It leaves injuries that deny your heart the time to heal.
The voice recited agony as if it had been hurt itself.
It must have been so difficult. Lonesome, suffocating to have such a lofty dream. But you don't have to hide it anymore. Because everyone can create by themselves a world they consider right.
A world for myself? What are you talking about?
A world only for your eyes to see, exactly that. I'm helping everyone paint their own colors on the city.
Everybody's own world, huh? However, each person's color is different. They can never be nicely painted together. If such a method existed, I would have done it before anyone else.
Indeed, as you said. The colors... Oh, was that... Wait. Yeah, that's me, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes.
Indeed, as you said. The colors blend together in the light. Therefore, one must devote all of themselves to painting and protecting one's color. Even if a
Laborious.
I'm like
Got it.
imagining Carmen like looking at her script and like trying to figure out how to pronounce it.
She's like, I'm trying to
Oh shit,
grab
I'm
this
losing him,
man.
I'm losing him.
Oh fuck! Give me a second here.
Even if a laborious ordeal comes their way. Nevertheless, they must readily fight and overcome it to secure their place. Even if they must fight the entire world.
I wanted to break the shell of the city, fight and stand up to everything that interfered with my path, tear it all down and eventually create a new world. What do you mean by ordeal? If there is such a way, if it's just, then I'd like to follow it.
For instance, what that child is undergoing, or what those children experienced in this laboratory before their alteration. When you became aware of this unbearable world, you'll burrow it into the inside of your egg to separate and establish your...
The man.
I recalled Garnet, who had become a red jewel. What happens once you enter that egg?
Well, you can break out of the egg, or you can be seized by sin and be eaten into nothing but residues.
The voice innocently spoke.
No one can know the outcome. You'll have to set
The man.
from within the egg to emerge from it. If you're unable to endure the process, what will burst out will be your sin-eaten remnants.
Is that different from distorting?
Jumsoon is certainly a distortion, as the world calls it, but the children of the laboratory have only become a reflection of their sins.
A reflection of sin. The cries of the things that crawled along the floor ring inside my head.
However, isn't that strange? Since when did it become like that? I thought distorting referred to the phenomenon of people revealing their colors by transforming into a reflection of their egos.
The distortion phenomenon emerged after the light spread throughout the city. They are aberrant beings that made the city bleed, wounding even those who gather blood. The voice began to speak in an abnormally positive manner.
You think so too? But aren't they twisted, broken, perverse figures?
It's certainly not a normal form to take.
Normal. To them, they are normal while the world is the abnormal one. But more importantly, they have come to cherish themselves and see the world through their own eyes.
The voice spoke in a dreamlike melody. However, it was dreamlike to such an extent that even if their words seemed like a dream... think this is me, yeah. It is to become a self unbound by
Oh, wait,
the
no, this is definitely Carmen.
Oh,
It is to become a self unbound by the eyes and standards of the city. However, the resulting form changes depending on the way it was revealed, thanks to my junior who has a different idea than me joining the light.
the word junior being insignificantly introduced and disregarded bothered me. It was spoken with a light and calm tone, but I feel as if it was involved in every cause and effect. How do you know all this? Unwelcome premonitions began to gather as one. Are you the person responsible for this phenomenon?
Correct, but I'm also a friend that wishes to help you make your color bloom.
It must be really important for you to make colors bloom in people.
Ver, do you know where you're heading now?
I couldn't reply. It's been a long time since I turned my eyes away from my destination, vacantly standing still. It's been a long time since I hid my gaze.
This is me?
I'm checking.
It gets a little confusing.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
is... I think that's Verge.
Okay.
Wait, I'm
Huh?
sorry. No,
It's a
I'm
bit
sorry.
more
That is
emotive.
Carmen. That is Carmen.
Well, I've been curious about that for quite a while. Where is everyone going? It's clear that they're repeatedly trying to go somewhere at least. But what kind of place could cause the emergence of such ambition again and again?
As long as time flows, people will try to go anywhere they want to. It's a matter of course.
These are only my thoughts, but I think people are seeking love.
Love? The word I'm unaccustomed to bothered me.
Love is thought to be the emotion of valuing another above all else, but I think every act done with the thought of loving another is nothing but part of the process of loving oneself.
Are you trying to spark a debate regarding that? No. You just have to listen, the voice said, as if lightly tossing the words, then continued its monologue.
Because in the end, the only person in the world who can completely see and understand who they are is themselves. They cannot truly comprehend or love a person who isn't themselves. As such, loving oneself is the only true final destination.
If what you say is true, are you saying we shouldn't look at anything other than ourselves?
You ask the same question as my junior. We must struggle, but as human beings, we should use reason, not emotion.
The voice adjusted itself.
So, he said, we have to fight in the most human way possible, through clothing and tools, while holding the human form in high regard.
Carmen.
Oh, but that only pollutes the results. You don't need moderation while revealing yourself. After all, if you go through something without properly reaching its conclusion and keep going in such a roundabout way, your wish will become diluted and be forgotten all over again.
Like with the present-day people of the city?
Exactly. Oh,
Should we swap off here?
do you want to?
Yes, it is about halfway.
Yep.
We're on page 7 or on page 8?
start of page 8, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Damn,
my
Verg
favorite
gets
Carmen
no
voice.
woman? Brother, you do not have to just fucking insult Verg like that. He's watching
No,
his
no.
loved ones die. Well, maybe not loved ones, but...
Verg clearly gets clock. He doesn't get woman. He gets
God.
clock.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
In this essay, Verdante.
Carmen, shut the
Oh
fuck
my
up.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, glory to Yowie Yuri Yourieville, because yeah, no genders. Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Exactly. Moreover, if the tools made from my heart are broken, wouldn't my heart break in turn? That is to say, we should express our love solely with our own bodies. Your whole body and your heart collide with each other, and you come to love yourself.
So, I should disregard everything that isn't me?
That's right.
Have you always been this way, driving those trying to reawaken down another path?
I simply ask questions others have never given thought to. And usually, we understand each other. I support and lend them strength, so they can continue on their new path.
A friendly yet ruthless pressure. Don't look at anything but yourself and be buried in self-love. It says it will give me the power to do so. The back of my neck grew warm. Has anyone ever presented such a pleasant solution up till now? In this city, where individuals are insignificant, I'm allowed to look at only me and ignore everything else? It was so radiant that I wanted to close my eyes, even in their present state. However, as you say, I'm sure I'd be satisfied if I'd accepted. I'd feel fulfilled and content. It'd be a satisfaction that I've never experienced before. But it'd be nothing more than a momentary pleasure. Even if you tried to paint the world to the brim like that distortion filled with dots for immediate gratification, you'd never be able to paint it all with such a method. It would be a thirst that couldn't ever be satisfied.
That's you.
It is me, okay. Then, wouldn't distorting only prevent you from looking an inch ahead of yourself?
It could be. Still, that interpretation is your idea in color, is it not? As for me, I have my own color, and others have their own color as well. I simply inform them of one more path.
How cowardly.
Fur, doesn't imposing the standards of right or wrong and judging me make you the same as one of the many city dwellers you thought wounded?
Now my eyes have been opened. Obviously, there was something to be gained from the conversation with the voice. The blade that was once hidden in my heart was revealed, and I rediscovered where it was pointing and what I needed to confront. But that path can only be followed when all the beauty and ugliness of the world is held in my gaze, even if it weighs down in my surroundings. There's no point in continuing this conversation.
Was my proposal not to your liking?
The voice seemed to be quite disappointed. You appear to be the cause behind all the distortions. I have no way of knowing who you are. However, what do you hope to achieve with all this whispering and background manipulation?
As I told you, I believe everyone should fight the world in order to paint their own colors. And I'm a person too. Shouldn't I...
The man.
My...
The man.
the...
The man.
If someone is unable to be who they truly are, even if I lend them the power to do so,
The
my...
man. The man.
to paint the world with the colors.
The man.
When I heard its answer, I closed my eyes.
So, once all is said and done,
The man.
in the flow of,
The man. The man.
in all,
The man. The man.
will be...
The man.
Your motherfucker's killing me with that shit.
An unprovoked smile emerged on my lips. I was laughing. even got Berg to crack up with the man.
The man. The man.
A world where you, as if a starving beast, must struggle against everything in your endless thirst to build your own world. If I went down the path the voice told me, it surely would be pleasurable, but it wouldn't get me where I want to go. Thus, I have only one way to go. To tread with all the pain and thirst I've experienced until now, and will suffer through again in the future. Because only I can do it. It seems... Oh, sorry.
It's all good. It seems we're going to be taking opposite paths.
Yes. Then go your own way. It, too, must be the color of the person you are. And so, I wear a crown of thorns upon my head, so that I may shoulder everything until my future victory. Faded laurel leaves sprout to cover all of the thorns on my head, and tears of blood flow from my eyes, so I may see all the sins I'll have to bear from now on. The thorny path I shall travel is a curtain of blood containing my karma, a crimson cloth that covers my whole being. I'm dragged down into a pit. Within are many cries, everybody's agony surging together. The pit is profound and dark, making it difficult to look ahead. But I will take hold of it and triumph. As I engrave everything into these eyes, hence, I will present the world the longed-for paradise I promised an old friend. I will fall into a hell of my karma and rest there, alone.
Hey,
Advice
someone.
principle.
Holy moly.
Hey, someone was being pissed off about Pride Month, so I think we should double the amount of time we say Happy Pride Month, because this guy was like, it's the worst reading ever, and you guys never shout out Pride Month. So I think we should actually
Holy
talk
shit.
about Pride Month even more.
Holy shit.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy
Also,
Pride Month,
what's coincidentally unrelated to what you just said? What's their name in chat?
Yeah,
Sai.
I want to congratulate them.
CY. Wow, this is the worst reading ever. Happy Pride Month. Can't go 3 lines without Happy Pride Month. An interruption. Happy Pride Month. Yeah, Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
You can't come into a Pride Month stream and then not expect us to go, you sound like a loser for being like, I hate Pride Month. Like, dude, we will call your ass.
Yeah.
They're getting what they wanted, to be honest.
Yeah. Why are you
Whatever.
complaining about
pretty
going in the
sure-
ocean and being wet?
I think that this person has a humiliation kink.
So,
Oh,
so we're
really?
gonna,
Wanted to be
ban?
called out.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I think so. That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Perhaps.
Let's go, let's go,
Yeah.
let's go. Happy Pride Month.
Happy
Pride
Pride
Happy
Month.
Pride Month. I do like
No,
women.
it's Pride Month, this man.
It was just funny. I don't know.
It's pretty fucking funny.
Gods, impregnate that man.
Oh, okay, brother.
Maybe a step too far.
Okay. But although I do gotta say, like, okay, you know what's fucking amazing is y'all do not hear the music as you're reading it. Like maybe when other people are reading,
No,
y'all can, like
haven't.
pull up the
Yeah,
stream.
not at all.
But yeah, y'all don't hear the music right now. But every time you have timed it so fucking perfectly within the music to what you're saying. Like in
That's
between
so
breaks,
clean.
that's when the music is like starting to pick up, and it's like, bro, what the fuck?
I'm
I
so
think
happy.
We're just goaded. We're just goaded.
You made a
Later,
good
I must
playlist.
rewatch
It was faded.
Reviewed by Blue Moon Terror.
Thank you, Snakeskin and Bloom and Terror.
Thank you very much.
Who's next?
Book 19.
Yeah. It'd, again, be Virgilius, I suppose. Who wants to? Anyone feeling the verg?
I can verg.
All right, all right.
Yes.
Does somebody else want to verg? Because I can leave the verging. Nah, never mind. I'll verg.
Yeah, I
It's all
think we,
good.
I think
Yeah,
we
please
found
go
a good set of turns here.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Should I go back to Carmen?
I'm gonna. Ooh, of course.
I don't know if Carmen speaks again.
Oh, she first line.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, you right.
Yeah,
Okay.
You know, Burgus Burgus.
You know Burger King?
Okay, no.
You know what? Yeah, feel free to go back to Carmen.
Yeah. All right.
I need to remember not to drink water. Do not stay hydrated,
don't.
Virgilius.
Dihydrate, bihydrate.
Yeah. You want that real Dante.
No, I have to have the, ooh, I'm a man in my late 30s, early 40s, and I kind of want to die. Sorry. Okay.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month, everyone. Hold on. Okay. The cloak of blood I wrapped around The cloak of blood I wrapped around myself began to settle. My wandering is over. The way forward is clear, and all that remains is to tread it. I shall spill blood and, at times, drink it. But I will never stop this movement. However, before I can do so, I must cut down the distorted mass before me. The first of the blood that I must truly spill. And at the same time, lop off the neck of my cowardice, with which I have been turning a blind eye to for all this time.
You know, Ver, I'll tell you one more thing before we part. I might know a way to get you closer to achieving your dream.
I recalled the voice again. If one were to think rationally, there's no basis for believing everything the voice said. However, I feel confident that being would not lie. It's something different from reason or logic. This was what my soul felt. It's strange. Assuming there even is such a thing as a soul. If the flow my soul points to is right, if the method the voice speaks of exists, then I can say that the time I've long waited for has finally arrived. If fate truly does exist, and if everything is predetermined to follow it, then surely this moment has been waiting for me. And I, too, must have been waiting for this moment to come. When my thoughts reached this point, I felt a slightly nauseating bliss. The idea that there may be something in this world that can grant my wishes like magic, that previously non-existent notion enveloped my heart. It appears that I felt relief from the story, that everything I had done that stained my hands with blood was due to my fate. It's as if my wish, brought true by fate, guided me here. All the misfortunes I faced up until now formed the foundation of this very moment.
This can't be. I never recorded this event, even within my thoughts.
Wait, pause. Hold up. wait. Virgilius had that whole fucking pep talk with Karma just right before Jumsoon. What the fuck?
Yeah, I just caught him monologuing.
Yep.
Yeah. It was like, hey, hold on, bitch. I'm speaking right now to somebody else. Jumsoon, just sit in the
like,
corner over there, you know, like.
Do you guys need something? Drinks, a snack?
We do have some LaCroix just down the hall.
Oh my god.
He's like, hey, fuck off, water boy. like,
Water
Holy
boy.
Fuck. Where? Oh, yes. The distorted Jumsoon mumbled his apparent disbelief under his breath. Oh, shit. No, that's me. You might have drawn a great many worlds, but it was only enough to fill a canvas. And no matter what, humans cannot contain infinity in canvas. Such, there had to be a limit to your thoughts.
No, you died to buy my hand for the upteenth time. After killing and killing you again, I was sure I'd wake up, and yet...
It was just a repeat. Besides, there's no such thing as absolute. That's why I can advance into the future. I hoped that absoluteness did not exist. But that is why hope can be cruel as well. Because as long as something is possible, expectations will arise. Because we don't know. Because they might not be empty. Suddenly, a doubt arose. The voice was curious about what kind of world I wanted to create. If distorting is by nature a phenomenon brought about by that voice, it must have talked with Tsunul and asked that same question. It would have whispered sweet words filled with sincerity and gentleness, telling him only to look at himself, and that it would lend him strength. What is it that you hope to achieve?
Naturally, I want to fill the world with dots.
I see.
And you? What are you trying to reach?
Tsunul's pupils, covered with dots, glimmered. His countless pupils expanded to the fullest, as if wanting to see the world I desire. It's hard to put into words the world I want.
I actually am not entirely sure whose line this is, because it implies distortion?
Mm.
I'm gonna run with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a world that can only be understood once you feel it with your whole body.
Tsunul's mouth widened into a huge line. What a grotesque smile. Simultaneously, he began to rush me down with his dark blue fists. I didn't avoid the punches Tsunul threw, but instead received them with my whole body. Every time I touched a spot tinged with a dot. I'm forced to face and sink into despair. After being dragged down deep into this quagmire once again, I see that all the possible despair I could have encountered. However, now that I have forged my resolve, all the despair that unfolded before me began to reflect a tenacious hope. As such, I can cut them down without hesitation. All that obstructs me whenever I'm thrown into this world of dots. Within are Lapis, Garnet, Rikako, Lan Yen, Denver, Simnansul, the children of the orphanage, and many other faces I miss, but I cannot meet anymore. Once everything I cut down shed its blood. The dot that had become nothing more than my quagmire was dyed red, akin to a puddle of blood. I rose, holding that redness.
How? How can you stand upright amidst these dots?
Tsunul goggles his numerous pupils, seemingly unable to comprehend the situation. Although the painting, abundantly stamped with dots, may look full from a distance, blank spaces are just as abundant when looking closely. Similarly, the mind cannot wholly be filled with dots. Your dots may brush against me, but they cannot stain me. As soon as I finished speaking, Jumsoon gathered all his strength and struck the ground. Dots permeated the floor in a uniform pattern, as if a burst of indigo paint, before rushing towards me at furious speeds. However, the fast-moving dots never connected. As such, they couldn't even form lines. This might have been because surfaces don't exist in the world he was trying to create. The blank space between the dots is an infinity left empty, a scope left unchosen. I begin to link the excluded gaps with the blood I continuously shed. Each dot meets to form a line, and the line flows to create a surface. And once that space is filled, I'll be able to envision my desire. As if by instinct, I coil the blood surface around itself like a flag to create a long, flowing line akin to a spear. A red spear made by neatly weaving dots one after another. I throw this line to Jumsoon's chest with boundless indifference. In order to catch the spear, Jumsoon swung his fist, unfolding a curtain made of countless dots. But there were too many leaking holes in that incomplete chain. The red line I created, both a surface and a red dot when seen from the front, penetrated through the curtain made of several blue dots, thus piercing Jumsoon's right arm and shoulder.
Believe this is you?
Yes. It reached completion with only a single dot. The moment the dots become aligned, the beauty that enchanted you faded away, did it not? Humans have no choice but to walk along lines and live atop surfaces. For the ones who advance, a dot is merely fleeting. Dots are just moments. Perhaps as time passed, and the many moments of despair that came my way accumulated one by one, the instants that were mere dots formed a line, opening a path of possibility. Jumsoon, in his obsession with the moment, was fascinated by the stimulation an instant could cause. He couldn't break free from the moments that gave him the ecstasy of soaring without limits, or hopelessness of free falling without knowing when he'll hit the floor. Now that he knows the contradiction of the dots, he'll be dragged down towards the endless abyss, like the branches of a tree that had its roots dug up. According to the voice, distortion is a form of rebirth under new appearance by fully embracing their craving. The value they consider to be the answer becomes their raison d'être, and their form changes to the shape they wished for. If the very desire that encompasses their foundation collapsed, what would happen to the things that composed it? If it cannot exist, it would only be right for them to melt down. Jumsoon stayed silent. and all his movements came to a standstill. Is he entering the egg once again? However, the world isn't so kind and convenient as to give someone so many chances. Like with the people or the city, it may seem friendly on the outside, but it is unspeakably cold inside. Jumsoon kept staring at me. No expression was discernible from the face where the gaze originated. Then, a blue liquid began to burst out from Jumsoon's stomach. A machine arm wielding a saw blade divided Jumsoon's chest in half. Something stirred from within him. It wasn't a cocoon, an egg, or anything similar, but a completely alien form that had no point of contact with the series of dots that was the life of Jumsoon.
By the way, I am readying up the sound effect. Just
Oh,
so everyone's
God.
prepared.
Yeah, Apollo, you weren't here for it. I would recommend turning your soundboard volume to like 20%.
She's away at the second.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's
I
good.
see. All right. Okay. I'm actually. Should we swap off now?
I was going to ask.
I suppose, yeah. I'll pull up Veggie.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
All right.
The
The
man.
man is coming.
The man.
The man.
Here you go.
When the man comes around.
That the thing which had begun to vigorously cleave and stretch Jumsoon's flesh made itself born by dragging its huge size. Happy Pride Month. Too
Pride
great
Month.
to fit
Happy
inside
Pride
his
Holy
body
moly.
outward. It appeared to be an iron strong box with saw blades attached to it, but it also looked like a bizarre sculpture with several arms resembling bug legs emerging from it. And at the center of it all, a gaze emanating from a single eye. Our eyes meet. Yet, I'm not looking at it. It's peeking at me. The pupil in that closed-off space is stealthily and, at the same time, persistently peeping at me. Immediately, a pair of saw blades furiously spin and try to cut me down with enough force to grind even the air. By reflex, I manage to block the saw blade with my sword. Perhaps it isn't easy to say I managed to block it. It was unimaginable, so heavy that it's hard to accurately represent in words. The saw blade spun and came face to face with mine, and blood began to splatter in all directions from the blood-twinned red sword. If this situation persists, the sword itself will be cleaved apart. And that, by itself, isn't an issue. I could always make a new sword from blood, but that would necessitate new blood to be shed to maintain the blade. I'd like to avoid that. As such, I wrap my body in my red cloak, becoming one giant drop of blood. The saw grinds even this, causing countless blood splurts to clammily drench the floor like a fountain. The fallen blood soon pools together, forming a puddle, and I become one with the blood, hiding my body within. Until all the blood on the floor dries up, I'll be able to reappear anytime I want. No. To be more accurate, I had a feeling I could do so. This earned me just a little breathing room. Before the blood coagulates, I have to finish assessing the situation. The eye was still looking at me. It was something different from glaring. There was a vicious greed to it. It was craving and coveting after me with its eye. Frey, pull it up on that.
All right. So I've been wanting to do it a little sparingly. Here we go.
Oh no, I was thinking onomatopoeia, but that works too.
Oh, all right.
While I was in the puddle, it changed its target and began tearing the things crawling in the lab to pieces. Even if they were only incapacitated, my efforts to save them had already been torn to shreds. Eventually, after slaughtering everything that moved before its eye, it turned its gaze straight to the next target, the 3 people standing behind one of the laboratory's shattered windows. Gubo, the researcher named Isaiah, and Nanseo. As if satisfied with his observation, Gubo nodded to Isaiah, who then opened the lab's back door. The corridor is visible through the slightly ajar door. Could Isaiah already maneuver through the corridor? If so, he could have escaped from here at any given moment. He must have had many reasons not to fly away, even though he knew how to open his cage. Leaving behind Nanseo, who was shouting in confusion, the 2 entered the corridor and promptly closed the door. And now, Nanseo is alone. The many-legged box dashed towards him, spinning its saw blade. Nanseo will now understand the meaning of this situation. The only tool he has at his disposal is a somewhat thin knife made for extracting moonstones. A traitor's blade, adequate for gouging those without murderous intent, but not fit for standing up to those who have. Nanseo knows he will die without being able to put up a proper resistance, and he vaguely knows that I will try to save him from this situation. The saw blade wielding box, together with a cacophonous metallic sound, closes in on Nanseo until only one step remains, and that is when I emerge from the blood puddle, exposing my form. I swing my bloody blade, spraying blood droplets onto the box. Once dispersed, the embedded drops soon condense into sharp blades to cut it apart. However, although the blood embedded itself in the box, it remained uncut. As if denying the violence born of blood, the blood daggers stick to the iron box without being able to pierce it. But that was enough to direct the box's attention to me. Its body turns around and once again our gazes meet. I asked Nanseo who was behind it. Oh, that's me. But who's Nanseo? Or Nanseo?
Okay, so Nanseo is one member of Verge's Fixer Office. He's like this big, friendly guy that's like a little nervous but kind. And he's also the guy that betrayed and killed another member when they were in the ring lab for the ring. So, yeah.
That's great,
So
but I was
asking, like,
wondering
weird
who's
questions.
playing. Yes.
Oh.
No, that also
I
does
can do
help,
it.
because I don't really know all that much, but yeah.
Yeah. You can do Nanseo if you want, Yokumi. This next line is just Tsunul's.
Yeah, alright.
See.
What were your reasons for doing this? His reasons don't matter at this point, but I just want to hear from them from Nanseo's mouth. I wondered what he had to gain from turning his back on me in the office.
Boss.
Why did you do it? Resignation was visible on Nanseo's face. We both know that we only have a few moments before we attract the box's gaze, and that the situation can reverse at any time.
You can survive anything, you know, but I can't. Unlike the ring, you wouldn't seek revenge that doesn't benefit your plan in the pursuit of a singularity. However, I don't have the self-confidence to let myself be hunted down by the ring for the rest of my life. Was I the only one? I'm sure the others felt the same.
So you thought that I would let you live?
No, I didn't.
Saying so, Nanseo showed a weak smile, appearing to be a little exhausted.
But my family will. You'd kill me, a traitor, but never touch my family. Ring wouldn't mind doing something like that. Still, at least it wasn't the middle.
I closed my eyes. Nanseo's words carried a heavy weight. I had wandered aimlessly along the road, relying on the orphanage. However, I couldn't protect even that, nor could I properly avenge the children. So I could only wonder how uncertain and risky I must have seemed through my subordinates' eyes. Not only that, but to what extent was I able to protect someone I didn't know? In the end, I, who couldn't do anything right, was the one that pushed Nanseo into that choice. I failed to consider Nanseo's position. and Nuncio also didn't try to comprehend mine. In this world, moments of disconnect like these will inevitably occur. We thought we knew each other, but despite our overconfidence in our 5 senses, we couldn't truly understand each other.
If I were to die, then I hope to bring you down with me. But after all, my wish for death was a desire beyond my reach too.
I shut my eyes, and during the fleeting moment it took to recollect the thoughts and emotions raging inside my mind, the box had already spun around and minced Nuncio's body. That immediate slaughter occurred before I was able to do anything. That thing couldn't think, only hunger. I once again hid myself in the puddle of blood. Inside the dots, I abandoned such sentiments as sorrow and grief that I could candidly express to Nuncio. No matter whose death unfolds before me, I have resolved to walk down this path. I didn't obtain enough information from the short clash I had with it. However, I instinctively knew that thing was a new existence, wholly estranged from the sequence of dots that was the life of the human being called Tsunul. Something like a distortion, yet different. Or maybe. It's a very weak guess, but I have no time to leisurely solve that thing's origin. The air here is cold and dry, making spilled blood harden quickly. If all the blood dries up, I won't be able to reveal my body and will be trapped on the floor as I am now. The gaze persistently followed me as I shifted my position within the blood. Its pupil steadily chased me as if it knew for certain where I was inside the puddle. I don't have much blood left now in this familiar yet new weapon and armor. I felt like I'll be unable to use this ability anymore if I run out of blood. And if that were to happen, I'd die vomiting out all of my blood. These tools can only be used again if I fill them with someone else's blood. Thus, I have to finalize my judgment before the blood dries up. As that thing emerged from a distortion, it cannot have a completely different nature from them. Therefore, its existence as a being consumed by and that behaves according to its desires has, in the end, remained unchanged. That, from the beginning, may have been yet another facet of the distortions. However, I still have no solid information about any of this, only vague guesses. I have no other choice than to amass what little information I have and grope my way forward. It should have been a strenuous task to locate my position within the blood in a general sense, but even inside the puddle, that thing maintains eye contact with me. Also, during the brief moment I closed my eyes, the box moved from behind me to kill Nuncio. As such, what that eye longs for is another's gaze.
Whew. Translated by
Let's
Steve
go.
Powerful
NFS.
stuff.
Last
Happy
chapter, baby!
Pride! Last
Yep.
chapter.
Very good. By the way, quick shout out to wait, where the fuck is it? Oh yeah, quick shout out to person in chat. Love the statement. He has no mouth and he's dead.
Oh! I see a donation I wanna point out.
Ooh, let's go.
Happy to help in the name Pride Resonance. I was away for a little bit, so maybe someone else already read that out.
No.
But that was Cairo, who is a friend of mine. Hi, Cairo.
Oh, Cairo.
Hey.
I
Cairo?
see you. The funny thing about Cairo is I remember getting him into Limbus. I was like, you should hop on Limbus, dude. I think you would really like it. And then he ended up like sending me like videos of like Tsunul SQ stuff, and I was like, huh, does he now like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if he figures it out himself. And now here he is.
There we go.
Yeah, when he found out it was an APR, and he was like, what? I was like, yeah, you know it is.
You know it is.
That's
Yeah,
nice,
it's
that's
just
nice.
Wait, Walu, now that I think of it, oh wait, no, we can keep the light chatter for later. But like, I don't remember who brought you in.
It was Frey, because I was in
That's Frey.
I was in
Oh,
a
yeah.
LabCorp stream, yeah.
Yeah.
I was chatting in a LabCorp stream.
Yeah, we it's funny. We
and
we
then
met through-
Frey went, "Oh, I know you," and I went, "I know you." And it was a little awkward.
Was it? I thought it was
No.
just fun.
No, you're fine. But just this, what I voice and all, yeah.
Of course.
Funny Ishmael ASMR audio, guys. Funny Rosea date Ishmael audio, guys. Funny. Funny.
I guess, yeah, keyword funny.
Yes.
Of course.
Keyword funny. It's
Smile.
funny, guys. It's funny.
Yeah, new status dropped. Funny.
Funny.
I love it when things are funny.
All right. Should I take over Verge for the for this next part?
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you know who? I don't know if I doubt it would spoil anything. Do you know who's pulling up for this? Because we could just get like the full list of everyone.
There's 2 female voices near the end. Opalu, should we split them up?
Whom?
Like there's you know what? Let me DM you. Let's not
Okay.
spoil chat.
Of course, of course.
Let me go in the fuck.
Uh,
We're not going in the fuck. I know it's Pride Month, but you know.
Okay.
We also have another character named Lan Yen, so that's at least 4.
Okay. And there, is Lanian a woman or man? A man.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Either
Welcome
one.
to Project Moon.
Oh,
Yeah.
also, no, you know what? Hey, Tsunul, remember the one part of your cosplay you didn't wear? Sausage.
Yes.
Yeah, they're here.
Oh,
by the way.
yeah, okay. I don't know, who would... You think I would, or... Well, Actually,
It's tricky.
I could pull up... I think Yokami could do a better of that. I think I could pull up
I don't even know who
Bird's
this is.
second-
I'm just gonna say it and ping
Yeah,
you.
we can just type it out in the chat over here, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And,
I think Yokami could pull up that better. I think I'll do second half Bird. I think that's what I'll cover.
I'm down. Yeah, I told you.
Yeah, you got that shit.
You got it. I believe in you. Right. Let me see. What the fuck? Never mind. I'm not reading that chatter. That's fine. I'm just making sure.
I'm seeing the chatter. Is it?
I know the one you're talking about.
I just want everyone to know. Lanyan's a guy? Okay. I want everyone to know that I said the name of who I was talking about in the chat, and Yokami just key smashed 5 times. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
5 times. Happy Pride Month.
Alright.
Yeah.
I thought Pop was a girl for a long time. Same.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. Let's fucking do this.
Yeah, so, alright, that, and then I got mine, and that should be everyone, right?
Yes, I think everyone has their roles divided.
5 for the finale. That shit works out quite well, then, goddamn.
Oh yeah!
Hell yeah.
Happy Pride Month, everyone.
They truly are resonating.
Yeah.
God, the gays are resonating.
I closed my eyes. To look at someone is to capture them in your eye. It is to insert them into your awareness through the window called the eye. The glass window of this window is so clear in appearance that it seems to allow no distortion. But in truth, it creates a biased sight, which is then taken to heart above everything else. That is to say, even though I look at it, I must not insert it into my gaze. If one wills it, one's wish will always lie in their gaze. But as wishes are always far away, you must always maintain distance as well. As such, Mom, I saw it. I decided to no longer care about who it was. Even if it killed what was once the children, even if its original form was the man who made Garnet enter his cocoon, I will not put any emotion into my strike. I will remove it, just as I would a block of stone, a hurdle placed along my path. I still had my eyes closed, so by my series of deductions, it should have stayed still because it would only have moved if I had looked at it. However, it didn't. It had moved to somewhere else. Is there still something in this place that can hold that thing in its eyes? There should be no surviving people here, however, so there shouldn't be any gazes. I heard the disordered noise of saw blades and sound of something solid, like a jewel shattering into tiny pieces. Pause. Can someone take on the Foley for me? If it comes up. Yo. Yes. Like the jewel Garnet was cocooned in. I heard the sound of what that voice had called an egg being broken apart. The sounds of that huge crystal cracking and shattering were over in an instant. Only after that did it stop moving, and silence once again descended upon the laboratory. Garnet had been watching everything. In that opaque and solitary space, he watched the outside, always in a struggle to hatch. I slowly walked towards it, my eyes shut. I felt the shaking of my muscles, of my closed eyes and sword-gripping hand. I took some steps, neither few nor many, until I felt I was standing right in front of it. Until a while ago, I believed I could cut that thing down without emotion. If I were to attack with my blood-drenched weapon like that, I would be able to cut it as if it only empty air was there. However, I adamantly wanted to see its form struggling in pain. And so, I chose to capture it in my gaze. I opened my eyes. Soon after, I saw its machinery activate and its open pupil from the gap in the box. Immediately, a mechanical arm bearing a saw blade flew in. Something blunt was needed to catch it. For that sake, I strained my heart to coil the Hmong. The blood cloak, worn with resentment, was sturdier than before, but the indiscriminate gyration of the saw blade forced the blood to shed and burst. But I must bear it. I allowed what little blood I had left to gush out to endure this brutality. I put my hands on the cold metal box and looked it straight in the eye, hidden deep within. What are you looking at that makes you so pleased? And before my blood could run out and fall apart, two Hmong. Thirst. The Hmong spurred my thirst for the blood I was to spill, so I jabbed my blade deep into the box. The gazes, the people, the destiny that had until now merely observed the suffering of my life. As if cursing everything in this world, I poured out all the strength I could muster into it. The blade of blood, embedded into its eye, took on a sporadically pointed shape akin to a massive form's. This form was not of a sword meant to kill, but of a tool that purely inflicted pain. As if something broke in my head, I ceaselessly thrust the stake-like thorned sword into its eye socket. I couldn't protect anything, and I may never be able to. That eye peered into me, as if it could see my whole life, from past to present, tryly yet interestedly. It was as if I, who had even let Garnet die, the one I could have saved, could only see my own impatience and naivete beyond that pupil. The box, as if trying to release itself from the agony, shook violently, and at the same time fiercely pulled down its saw blade in an attempt to cleave me. My undying rage was directed at this thing does not pay the price for peering at tragedy only for pleasure. Are the fruits of what I experienced in the dots only ripening now? No. This wrath is towards myself, for having forgotten about Garnet even though I surpassed those dots, but also towards that thing, which consistently peered without forgetting about Garnet. I stopped the sword that I'd been plunging in for a while. Two eyes that shed blood and tears looked at the single eye in the hole, also shedding blood and tears. Now I am the one who peers. The box, as if screaming, shook unceasingly. I drove the blood-woven blade even deeper into the gap in order to engrave the pain until the end. As the knife burrowed into a deeper place in the box, I felt it get caught on something. With all my might, I excruciatingly pulled the blade upwards, cutting it apart. Everything, from the flesh inside the box to the safe-like body, was sliced clean. The stream of blood that rose to the ceiling fell like a broken hope that couldn't find a place to rest. The rain of red blanketed its body, just as blood covered mine. Without me noticing, the lab was already painted red. The cold laboratory and machinery were stained with blood that could have belonged to anyone, and corpses, each telling its own story, lay strewn about in disarray. Once warm, the blood cooled down, giving off a metallic stench. Yes. If there is a hell, it would look like this. The scenery I've always seen is like this too. By the time I forgot myself in the stillness of the hell before me, I began to hear mechanical noises coming from a speaker somewhere in the lab. And then a familiar voice leaked out. It was Lan Yen's. I already knew what he was going to say. The moment also occurred in one of my innumerable despairs I experienced in the dots. But I couldn't stay calm. My mind was perpetually darkened. Who's taking Lan Yen?
Yeah, why don't? Yeah, we didn't know.
wasn't it
What's
Yuki?
Lan Yan's voice kind of like?
If I remember, they're a very gender character that is male.
Okay, so androgynous. Can I do an androgynous voice?
Fuck it, go for it, yeah.
We ball.
Can you hear me, boss? If he was right, this should be the frequency. I think it's working. I have to tell you this.
Side note, that is really fucking good. Good job.
Thank you.
Lan Yen's breathing was coarse.
Boss, the office has been attacked.
He was talking with difficulty, as if throwing up blood over his voice. There exists no device or means to transmit speech from this side. I have no choice but to listen to the words coming one-sidedly from the cold speaker.
The picture we all saw together, the location of that laboratory, was an N-Corp. Their taboo hunters came here. They rummaged through the office, killed everyone.
Due to my experience in the dots, I had already put together several pieces of the puzzle in my head. The ring's laboratory, which could only be reached through the corridor, was somewhere within N-Corp. And the footage of their nest, where filming is taboo, found its way into our office.
However, I thought an office of our grade would be able to negotiate with the taboo hunters before the dispatch. I guess the contents of that tape were a taboo of quite a high level.
And, since the film contained something absolutely unpardonable, we who saw the footage were observed and identified in turn. Once N-Corp's taboo hunters begin their pursuit, they will retrieve the footage after disposing of everyone who has seen it. This must have been the reason why Gubo, who works for N-Corp, was at the ring's auction house. Through the auction, he would go to the laboratory, built somewhere in N-Corp, hidden by the ring with the corridor, identify its location, and retrieve the researcher. The fact that N-Corp's taboo hunters invaded our office, located in V-Corp's nest, also meant that the two wings had already finished the necessary agreements and approvals. One day, I met with the group called the Elders of V-Corp. They visited me under the guise of greetings and having a meal with me, and they spoke with the edges of their mouths stretched to their fullest. Whoever wants to take these, I think just two different people.
Yeah, I can do one. Hold on.
I'll head up the other one.
Dope.
I got lost in the
Page 6.
Page
Yeah.
6. Fuck.
Where
Why
it
is chat
says-
saying support?
Yeah, what?
It's the
Someone
fucking
was
Dawn
asking
image.
what
It's-
Yeah. Someone was asking, hey, does Opala do other things? Yeah. Smile support the Dawn image. Yeah.
Understand.
yeah, that's
I
the Dawn
I
image.
do voice act. Yeah.
True.
Support.
That is my job. I do that full time.
Is that what the VA stands for?
No, that stands for
Oh.
Virginia. I don't live there. I just
Yes.
like the state.
Oh,
a-
Yes.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
Happy
Month.
Pride
Happy
Month.
Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
You guys ready?
Yeah. We're at contact us whenever you need it. Haha.
Yeah, sorry. I can't believe I contact.
yes.
There we go.
Yeah, they are.
It's all good.
Jesus.
Contact us whenever you need it.
We'll always be on your side, Mr. Virgilius. Understand?
Weightless, empty words. They weighed the scales between Ncorp and I, and Ncorp was simply heavier. Their tedious lip service didn't impact the weighing scales at all.
Well, boss, I'm sure you can negotiate with Ncorp's golden horses, so I'm not worried about that. But Rikako, Nuncio, and Denver, please take good care of them.
Through the speakers, I could faintly hear the sound of someone walking from behind the door to the room where Lan Yen was.
And my special bonus. Please pass it to those three when they grow up.
Contact was lost with the roar of something being broken. No more words were left behind by Lan Yen. Only silence remained again. In the end, what I felt was no different from the emotions I endlessly experienced in Jumsoon's dots. But compared to the myriad despairs, this was no different from the pain of a paper cut. So it shouldn't have hurt anymore. But the knife pierced the abscessed wound again before the calluses could form. I pressed down on the blood that was flowing out and endured it. No. Am I truly enduring it? I may have already shed all the blood inside me and met my end. After cutting that thing down, a small, safe-like box had been left in front of me. I stood before the unmoving box and quietly stared down at it. What kind of monster doesn't die or disappear, but leaves behind something like this? I left the box there and began to take the next step. Now that I've lost everything, I have to leave this place, cut everything down in my path, and go where I need to go. Because this city needs to be punished. How ironic. Now that I've lost everything, that man who suffered the same came to mind.
Who's doing it?
That would be Yokumi.
Yep.
Yes.
I looked away for literally just a moment. Where are we? Shit.
Page 8.
Yes, 3 dots and
How
then,
ironic.
hey, you're still living the simple life.
Let's see.
Would we swap now or?
I was thinking page 8 would be like the last one I had.
Nice. All right, we move.
Okay. Hey.
Like this
Eleven.
scene and after move on to Tsunul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine's pageless,
Yes.
so you just have to tell me.
Good to go?
Mhm.
Hey, still living the simple life? We got a color, so why not try doing something that brings a little bit more money?
It seems marriage was worth it.
Does it look that way?
Your blade looks duller than when we first met. And now you have that odd laughter mixed in. It's quite unpleasant.
I guess it's obvious. Truth is, even back when I wore my mask in front of you, I felt like you could see through me. That pressure in your eyes still hasn't changed. If someone heard this, they'd think we've met often. We've only worked together during the Blood Red Knight case, right? Well, that incident did drag on for way too long.
Despite calling my gaze a pressure, he was one of the few people that would casually directly look me in the eye. That man, previously so busy with hiding behind a mask and suppressing himself, now had become so sly he could show his face and talk freely, and at length by himself. Why are you living in District 9 when you could have gone to another nest?
Well, the nests we hoped to enter rejected us, but my wife likes it here, so... I'm sorry.
What the fuck?
My wife!
Wife!
My
Yep.
robot wife!
Oh, God damn it.
Oh my god, there he is, the wife guy, the wife man!
The wife man.
Oh,
The man.
A
The
man.
man!
The man!
Hey,
The man himself!
The man.
Holy
Perfect.
moly.
That's my wife.
That's my wife!
I miss my wife, Tails. In many cases, fixers who have reached a certain grade are denied migration to nests based on past requests, performance, or contracts. Conversely, this means that others are more eager to let high-grade fixers into their nests.
You know how it is. If you set your mind to it, you can enter a nest, but it's really important which nest you get into. And even there, you have to find a good location, and then a house with the options you like. So you can't move in that easily. Plus, you have to consider the price of the house, which has been going up. And the schools in the area, as they'll become important later on. So that's why people say once you enter a nest, it's hard to move out with a special reason.
Alright, handing it over to you, Tsunul.
Oh, alright, alrighty. This is Virgilius, right?
Yep.
Alright. You have a lot to say about it, as much as you desire it.
Yeah, I'm a little greedy. So, what's your desire? People who've risen to a certain status always want at least one thing, because that's how they crawled their way up.
Those who wanted to rise above this city had to do everything in their power. It takes a desire that shields one against vice to climb up this cliff, as one wrong step would likely result in a fall. Didn't you say that this was your last job?
Yup. It's about almost time we get going. Come to think of it, it's pretty crazy that I'm gonna do my last job with you.
It won't hurt to tell you at...
I'm sorry, just the thought of Roland saying, yup, got to me.
It wouldn't hurt to tell you at this occasion, then. Unwittingly, I lightly spoke out the desires and world I had pictured in my mind. At our first meeting, he seemed to abhor everything he saw, such that he would bow his head and hide his face from the world. It was as if he was trying to bear the sins of the city. Was that why I thought he had what it took to understand my world?
Seriously?
Yes.
That's unexpected. I don't understand why everyone who gets a color ends up having a screw loose, without exception.
So your wife? Like, what the what, brother? What?
Yeah, but like, listen. His wife is like crazy, but like he likes that kind of crazy. You know?
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, a wife guy specifically for his wife.
Like, what the fuck? Alright, anyway. Forget it. You just think of this as an insincere joke anyway.
Well, yeah, but considering it's you, it might not be impossible.
A long pause of silence. Oh my god, is that the Black Silence?
Foreshadowing.
But don't take everything so seriously. That's that. And this is this.
I look. I looked at him quietly, smiling. I can't say I know you well, but I don't think those words suit you. I see. You were exhausted as well. Or rather, did your initiative reach its end there? Not wanting to use my eyes any further, I stopped them again, and we executed our request. How long has it been since that day? The city had become brimmed with light and darkness for quite some time. The sound of a piano had also echoed far and wide for a while. By the time I realized it, something was already speaking to me in my darkened room.
Red Gaze, were you involved in this incident?
His voice, which I hadn't heard in a long time, held spiteful malice and murderous intentions. Together with it came a foul stench of blood. I did not notice such a dark presence because of the intense patience of the intruder, who was capable of perfectly concealing it all in the shadows. Black silence. You didn't ask for permission, as usual. I felt as if I could see tear-filled eyes beyond his mask. I've been informed of what happened, and I feel sorry for it, but I'm also curious as to why you believe I was involved in that.
You feel sorry? Quit it with his worthless speech.
My sympathetic feelings were genuine, but it is also true that my words had no worth. There are no words of comfort in this world that I can offer to this person. Grief and sorrow are his to bear, and nothing can replace them. The same applies to me. As such, there is nothing either of us can do about it. Any words we'll exchange hereafter will not be words meant to touch the heart. Now this one, depending on what I say, will try to murder me immediately, and when he does, I must do my best to defend myself and slay him in turn. I must consider all such possibilities and choose my words and actions carefully, as if I had a starved, ravenous beast in front of me.
Red Gaze, you once told me about the world you desired. It's because of that conversation. Oh, I couldn't tell if it was you or me.
Yeah.
No, I believe that is Roland.
Oh, really? It's
Based
because
on
of
the
that
next-
conversation we've had in the past that I'll point out that you've got it completely wrong.
That
That's
slip
so-
of the...
Sorry, it's so hard to tell.
Wait,
Fuck.
I think, yeah, the quotes are over
That
for
is
that one. Yeah,
that
yeah.
is
Yeah,
Tsunul. Yeah.
That slip of the tongue. Was he able to understand the wish laden in those words? That was nothing more than a dream I once had. I can't even begin to put into practice. It's merely an ideal. Fly perfect. I'm sorry.
We all heard it.
I looked into the eyes that were hidden somewhere behind that mask. Some time paused, and in time, a deeply hoarse voice arose.
You'd better be telling the truth.
The black masked someone calmly opened the door and left, disappearing into the darkness and quiet, never to be seen again. The words I was unable to speak out, mixed together with the still stirring bloodlust in the air, whirled around in my throat. If such a world really came to pass, even you as you are now would be at peace. The silence of that time, which appeared as if an uninvited guest, raised a valid point. The time to create such a world has arrived. Sheen?
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I'm relying on you
instinct.
for the automatopoeias. I'm gonna keep it 100. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Sheen.
Sheen.
Oh, from
From Jimmer to Neutron?
I was just gonna leave that in the air.
Oh.
Yo, uninvited guests like the library reception? True. From here, I could hear only a low sound coming from the laboratory. It came from the test tubes that contained the orphanage's children. Most of the tubes were forced open, and the children that changed due to the glass window were lying dead on the floor. However, a single test tube remained closed, and now it was slowly opening. Huh? I saw a face I thought I would never see again. The face, quietly and expressionlessly looking at me, was that of Lapis. I ran straight to her. Lapis. She had no external wounds. However, she didn't reply. Her pupils no longer looked at the light. Like in the past, her eyes, no longer bound to the wheel of time, saw a different world beyond this one.
Lapis? I'm not Lapis. My name. Charon.
The ring's glass window experiment was successful. With the success of Jumsoon's experiment, Lapis no longer exists, expelled and overwritten by Charon. Lapis is effectively dead. The light that I thought was a lighthouse was merely a shadow on the water, and there was no island after all. Thus, I decided to turn my back on the child in front of me. It would only dig up more of my wounds, so I had to sever our connection before it was built. This is both for my and Charon's sake. I approached the various administrative and recording devices installed in the chamber where Gubo and Nancio were. I had to print out and organize all the technical documents about the ring's research. I had to use everything available, so I paid no mind to whose and how much blood stained this data. The only thing that mattered was whether it was valuable or not. The strange child in the shape of Lapis walked to my location.
Charon. Hungry.
Without a reply, I kept collecting documents. The child, without any reaction in particular, walked to another spot. These papers hold some high valuable information. Companies and fixers who would make good deals came to mind. At this rate, I should be able to attain the power needed to take the first step. The moment I thought so, the corpses of Rikaku and Nancio entered the edges of my gaze. I stopped what I was doing and moved to Rikaku's front. His eyes, fallen and backstabbed, looked at shadows. I closed his eyes. Then I took off my coat and covered Nancio's minced body. And before I realized it, Lapis, no, Charon, was observing me.
What are you doing?
Charon, wait,
That's Emmy.
yeah.
Charon found this shiny thing. It's warm.
Charon reached out her hand. It was a hand with no alertness or fear. Suddenly, the pit of my stomach began to hurt again. The pain that pierced my back, caused by that very same hand, in one of the many alternate worlds, felt more bearable than this. This is... In Charon's hand was a red jewel. The jewel Garnet was cocooned in, but that was broken and shattered by those saw blades, losing its light and warmth. Yet the piece Charon held was shining as if crying. Among the numerous tiny fragments, this was the one that shined. I was about to grab the piece Charon held out, but she withdrew her hand again.
Charon found it in that pile, so it's Charon's. I like it. It's warm.
I painfully suppressed the emotions that seemed to be squeezing my throat.
Charon is curious about the name of this shiny. Do you know?
Garnet. A jewel that shines red. In the end, my heart, which didn't wish to exchange words, slowly melted down before this child who had picked up a star in the night. Why does this thing called a heart not work as I wish it to? Together with the sound of an explosion, one of the lab's doors is blown open. They looked quite different from N-Corp's taboo hunters. Actually, it doesn't matter who or what they are. I seized the handle of my Gladius once more.
LCA Special Operations Team completed entry into operational position. Red has been found. The area is now surrounded by the second camp.
An unfamiliar name was heard, but that didn't matter to me. They were probably just one of the obstacles on the road that I would have to cut down anyway. With that thought in mind, I was about to put some strength into the hand holding my sword, when...
No. There's no need to shed blood anymore.
Someone walked out from the middle of the armed group. A person with hair that seemed white from a distance, but grayish up close stood before me. She showed no agitation or nervousness toward my sword-wielding appearance. Rather than calm, she seems to simply be fatigued by everything. A familiar feeling. Boredom.
I am Faust of the Limbus Company.
This is the first time I've heard of such a company. But since this is a company, they must have raided this lab for its technology.
I know what you want, and I can help you achieve it.
I regarded it as nothing more than the lip service of an employee, a truly worthless statement.
Lapis and Garnet. We can give those two back to you.
I motionlessly stared at her words. I felt my eyes tremble for a moment. I planned to walk the path on my lonesome, but the red light shining from a jewel shattered to pieces. The warmth of that light offered to me by a child, both familiar yet different. That single sentence from a stranger which compelled me to turn my head, if only faintly, to the light, in a faded promise from the past. They seized me, stopping me in my tracks.
How about it, Red Gaze? Would you like to work with Limbus Company?
I closed my eyes. Let's hear what you have to say.
Translated by Snakeskin FS.
Yay!
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month and happy Limbus Company! Limbus Company! Thank
Bro.
you everyone for being here. It
Yeah.
was very fun.
Yeah, thank you for this stream. This is such a good event.
I mean,
Yeah.
is the stream over though? Question mark, question mark, question
Well, I'm still
mark.
streaming, but no, I see
It
what
is
you're
still
saying.
going.
I don't know. We were contemplating to maybe do up some of the earlier chapters if we finish these early.
I have low energy.
Is it
Yeah.
early?
It's not,
for you?
it's not early anymore. It's like 3:20.
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
So yeah.
I feel that.
It's
I am
a
happy
normal time of
comes
the
back.
night for me.
Yeah.
No, I think this was fantastic. Plus, I mean, the fundraiser notwithstanding, we've just been able to give people probably the first and most approachable version of Leviathan and its implications, which
Yeah.
is so fucking cool to be able to do during Pride Month.
Yeah. Especially with
Hell
this
yeah.
fucking beautiful overlay that Owen made. Like, holy shit, it looks
Thank
so
you,
fucking
Owen.
It
good.
feels so regal. So
It
It is
does.
lovely. You guys should go check out Owen's Twitter.
It's in the description.
It's in the
Fantastic.
description.
Oh,
And
dear.
what else do we have to say?
I mean, does anyone? You know what? We could spend like 5 to 10 minutes on one thing if you're good, Tsunul.
Oh, sure.
Does, does anyone have questions on Leviathan?
Does chat have questions, comments?
Yeah, because now's probably your best chance.
Will my
to-
eyes
That's
hurt
the
if I
best
look at a
chance.
picture of the sun?
Yes.
Yeah, they will.
Music went really well. Yeah, the only game plan I had for the music, I have 2 playlists playing. One is for like solemn music because I knew the last chapter was fucking depressing. And then the other one was just hype music for whenever a fight was happening. I did not think that y'all would be speaking in such a manner to where, even accounting for like the little jokes we went off on, like little side tangents, but accounting for that, everything that could have synced up with the music synced up fucking perfectly. During moments
It
of
was
recollection,
so fun.
the music changed to something of recollection. During hype-ass moments, in between like some, oh, they did this, the music then hit. Like, it just worked out really fucking well.
Cinema.
The only thing I
Like-
did was just play the hype playlist and then play like the solemn playlist, and that's it.
Mm.
Can I marry
10
Tsunul
out of
player?
10.
You could. No,
Mhm.
mods could
I
kill
really,
you.
I really want to look back at that Lanyan scene. I was really happy with how he did that.
That
You
was
did
really
really
good.
good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that was
It-
really good.
10 out of 10.
So
Thank
good.
you.
I really loved Phrase. Jumsoon. Just 10
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah, very
I-
flamboyant. It's
like,
great.
I loved it. I loved it so much.
Thank you. The only thing that I remember doing with that, I kept envisioning just what he looked like pre-distortion, and it just felt like it came together so well.
I love Jumsoon so much.
He's a blessed bitch.
I
Also,
love the ring. I love the ring. Anyway, yeah, sorry, Frey, you
Love
were
the
saying.
ring.
we do love the ring. We have another donation from Kaiser for $40.
Hey.
Hey.
Holy.
Which, very good compliment to Tsunul here. The stream went perfectly without any scuff. I enjoyed the readings a lot. I wish you all a happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride
Happy
Month!
Pride Month. Thank you a lot.
Can we play La La Dog?
Oh my.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably.
Fine. We'll
I say
finish
as
it
if
with
it's my
Lala Dog.
Fantastic.
Rest in
Wow.
peace, Esku. You would have loved La La Dog. he's not even dead or anything. He's just, I don't know. I assume he's resting right now. So
And he should be.
Resting.
I think he's
in
resting.
peace.
I think he's resting in peace right now. So we should play the La La Dog because I think he would like that.
Jesus Christ.
Quick, Esku's asleep. Play La La Dog.
Alright, pause that.
La La.
The display caption.
Esku died last stream. Fly high.
Fly high.
I still gotta get the footage for that.
Oh, I still gotta get my footage to you.
There he is!
Oh my god. It's
Fly Dog!
Oh, yes!
Yes! Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
He's there!
Oh, he's my biggest inspiration.
No doubt.
That copy. Oh my god.
I'm not a dog though.
Alone.
Dude, okay, we don't need to discuss grammar today. You're better than that. Get me the footage, please.
The
Damn.
footage you say.
La la. La la la.
Oh my god.
That was a little.
La la.
Uh,
La la la.
Esku got that dog in him. No!
So true.
That's
You distort, but Carmen goes like, la la.
no.
La la la.
I think we've
Do you
already
hear me,
distorted.
Ver? La la.
I think we've had a magnificent
what
time.
time is it for you guys, by the way?
8:30.
here.
7:30.
7:30. Huh. You're all
Huh.
weak. It's almost 3 a.m. for me.
Jesus fucking Christ. God.
Listen, some of us work second shift, some of us work third shift. Emmy,
Mhm.
we know
And
which one
I
you
work
are.
the night shift.
Yeah.
You've got a 9 to 5, so I work the night shift. Excellent
true.
song, by the way. You should look up the lyrics. 10 out of 10. So yeah.
All right. How do we end this off now? Did we already do
do
it?
we end
Did
this
just
off?
end the stream
Let's-
mid-sentence?
We can just say we love Virgilia.
How about that? Okay, how about this? Instead of fucking brain rot having consumed us, let me let me just mute Apollo real quick. Let me play the role of a host. Let me play the role of the host. So, thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate so much the amount y'all have donated for Absolute Pride Resonance. It's insane how far we've gotten already. And before we sign off, let's have everyone who participated within voice acting for this stream, kind of just sell their shit, I suppose. I don't fucking know. Frey, go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure. Like if you find, never mind. I was gonna make a bid, but that's not the time for it. If you like seeing someone talk about lore and bringing out the world of Limbus Company and sometimes ranting about how unfair it is for the people that are working there and vouching for their conditions, you can just check out my channel where I make the worst challenges known to man and somehow find stories out of them. Thank you for the vouch. Frey Chikama on YouTube, Twitter, and fuck it, even Discord these days. I think are we unmuting Apollo yet, or should we go to Yoki?
Oh, wait, you actually muted Apollo? Wait.
Wait, I didn't mute
Oh,
Apollo.
okay. I was like,
Oh, I just went quiet.
Oh, I
was gonna
thought you
laugh my-
couldn't.
I dropped the bit.
I was
She's
gonna
very
laugh my ass
polite.
off if you just
Very
server
polite.
muted. Yeah.
You know what? Might even get into voice acting if Apollo's making good on her promise. We'll see.
Mm.
Yay!
All right.
Ooh.
Apollo, your shield time.
Hi, follow my YouTube if you don't like boobs. Follow my Twitter if you do like boobs, because there's a lot of them, and there's naughty stuff there's naughty stuff there, there's not naughty stuff there, but there will be boobs, a lot of them.
Licentious.
I have to be very, very real about that, because I don't want people accidentally going to my Twitter being like, oh, that's boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
makes
sometimes people get really angry over the fact that there are boobs.
Yeah.
But
Someone's
there are
going light
boobs.
speed to your Twitter right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
Just
yeah.
you.
Meanwhile, also like
But yeah, my YouTube, I mostly post covers because I like singing. And I do. I'm trying to post more frequently on my YouTube as well, just silly stuff I voice. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I had a feeling from the voice. What do you mean you had a feeling from the voice? What does that mean? Hey yo.
Hey yo.
Someone thinks you could do ASMR. Oh wow.
Oh, that's so nice. I wonder why.
And then
Who's next up about?
Yokumi.
Sure. Hey guys, this is Yokumi. If you want to see like gigantic gotcha brain rot shit posts, please come to my YouTube channel. Otherwise, streams are a lot of just art and hanging out, not too much limbobbers these days. Otherwise, please enjoy the rest of your day.
Nice.
Eee.
And Emmy?
Finally, myself. I do like it when people let
I
me
hear
speak.
your voice
Hey,
on the
everyone.
cut out. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
beans.
you good, yeah.
Anyway, hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming. So I am Emmy, also known as Citron Cynique. I have just posted the name in chat because, words. Anyway, Citron Cynique. I am on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. I am a fan artist. I mainly do Limba stuff, also Genshin stuff. Also, I do merch. I sell like cute little keychains and stuff if you guys are into that. Please give me a follow. I like sharing stuff and posting, and yeah. Thank you for coming. I'm not usually a voice actress, but sometimes,
Yeah.
I guess. I
Yeah.
hope that this was entertaining for all of you.
Then don't worry about having to search up any other stuff. Everything is linked in the description, and then also there's a document for everyone else working in APR. All their stuff is linked in there as well. But yeah, that will be it for the Leviathan read-along stream. Reading the untranslated chapters, which I would imagine probably not that many people have checked out, just because it's not on post type.
Yeah.
Reading is hard.
And that
Reading
too.
is
So
very
true.
difficult.
Yeah.
What a great
Reading
idea to
hard.
end on.
What a
Thank you for re-showing me the fact that Lolang exists and he has a wife.
he
Had.
does.
Yeah, had. Okay, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay,
Fun.
yeah.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
But yeah, thank y'all for coming out. We'll catch y'all later on the next APR stream, which is going to be... Frey, do you know what the next APR stream is?
The next APR
Tomorrow,
stream that is
woman.
planned. Yes, indeed, tomorrow. So, you guys were really fucking insane before the month even started, and you got Woman Gaming. Yes, the woman.
Yes.
Goal
Woman?
to yes, to do a solo run of anything that chat requests. That stream is happening tomorrow afternoon. I will repost the schedule just for good measure on my Twitter, and you can look forward to that. And then phase 3 of APR as we lean into the end.
All right,
Thank you
nice.
very much.
Well, that is it for this stream. Thank y'all for coming out. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Ended.